PGA Championship at Valhalla. Xander Schauffele's opening round 62 tied a major championship record, and he never looked back.
Xander Schauffele, the winner of the 106th PGA Championship.
Colin Morikawa and Bryson DeChambeau made furious charges, but Xander secured his first major win 2 months before claiming his second. PGA Championship Week begins May 12th on Channel 92 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
The football talk doesn't stop on SiriusXM NFL Radio.
They're mentally tough, they're physically tough, and they're talented.
From OTAs to mini camps and leading up to training camps, stay updated on the latest news around the National Football League.
Got to practice a certain way if you want to be winners.
Our experts are getting you ready for the 2025 season.
For the veteran players, they want to see the guy earn the job.
There's a story for every team on NFL Radio Channel 88 and the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Store and more offers at Rona.ca.
CJCL Toronto. This
Slams the ball to right field. Way back. Way gone.
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second to throw.
Time on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Happy Mother's Day. The Blue Jays look to deliver their moms a perfect present as they look for a sweep of the AL West leading Seattle Mariners from T-Mobile Park. Hi, everyone. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host. Nick Blackmore is our producer. Tom Young is our technical director today. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Elmwood and Owen Sound. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986, so protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center or visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. On the mound for the Blue Jays today is righty Jose Urena, who makes his second start with Toronto after a pretty solid 4 1/3 inning debut on the 6th at the Angels. On the other side, Bryce Miller, dominant last year, the third-year starter trying to get on track this year, got roughed up in his last outing a little bit by the Athletics. Lineup standings, first pitch coming up on the other side. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, streaming at sportsnet.ca on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and
Happy Mother's Day, Blue Jays moms and moms all over the world. Happy Mother's Day to all of the moms. Thank you, Mom, for everything that you do all day, every day, because your job is extremely, extremely tough, bringing up the youth. And I am the luckiest man in the world to have had such an unbelievable mom and to be married to the best mom in the world, TSI Allison. Yes, I'm a little biased, but happy Mother's Day to all of you ladies out there. And let's get back to the baseball. Go Blue Jays, go. Thank you for hanging out with us. Oh yeah, don't forget, check out that link that's pinned in the chat. Donate to SickKids in honor of Mom for Happy Mother's Day. We'll see you back in the chat. Go Blue Jays, go, and go Moms, go.
And it's gone!
Jays fans, this is John Schneider, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
There's the exclamation point for all assembled here at Rogers Center.
Radio Network.
2-1 pitch, lined out to right center field and deep. Tavares back, leaps. It's off the top of the wall and gone. Home run, Bo Bichette, his second of the year. A 2-run shot, and the Blue Jays get right back in it. It's now 3-2. The Mariners leading Toronto. Bo Bichette with his second home run of the season yesterday helped fuel the comeback for the Blue Jays as they went down 3-0 and won the game 6-3 to take the series over the Mariners. Series finale coming up in just a couple of minutes. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. And Chris, wow, how has this road trip turned around? The Blue Jays with heartbreaking losses, blowing late leads in the first 2 games to the Angels. All of a sudden, they've won 3 in a row. At a minimum, it's a 500 trip, and they got a chance here to sweep one of the better teams in the American League.
Yeah, it's been pretty impressive, and I think the most impressive thing for me is the bottom half of that order. You look at Ernie Clement, you look at Alejandro Kirk, you look at especially Addison Barger. Those guys are really starting to swing the bat. They're coming up with big base hits when you don't expect them to. Look at Alejandro Kirk, 4 for 5 in yesterday's ball game. We actually mentioned that the defense for the Seattle Mariners was shifted to the third base side when Alejandro Kirk comes up, but we've seen so many times this season he's so good at going the other way, and he did exactly that last night. He was really impressive. The bottom half of that order is really impressive for me.
Well, to get to the starting lineups today and a little bit more, let's go over to today's host before first pitch. Here's Show Ali.
Thanks very much, guys. Welcome back inside Baseball Control, everyone. Show Ali with you at our downtown Toronto studios. We're awaiting first pitch at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, where the Blue Jays are awaiting the first pitch of series finale. They're looking for a sweep today as we hit the quarter pole of the season with an off day tomorrow. We will get to those starting lineups in a sec, but first, let's check out the Bet365 standings update. At Bet365, you can bet on popular markets like hits, home runs, and total bases. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. So, a couple of games going on right now. Actually, the Red Sox game very close to wrapping up, but we do have no finals in the American League East, so the standings as of last night are as follows. The Yankees, they are 22-17. The Red Sox are 21-20. The Blue Jays, after 3 straight wins, are 19-20. The Rays are 18-21, and the Orioles are 14-24. Current scores on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard right now. Top of the 8th inning, actually going to the bottom of the 8th inning right now. The Boston Red Sox leading the Kansas City Royals 3-1 in Kansas City. Top of the 7th inning at Steinbrenner Field in Florida, the Milwaukee Brewers are leading the Rays 3-2. And alongside our game, looks like the Yankees are taking on the Athletics in Sacramento, and the Orioles taking on the Angels in Anaheim. So all 3 of our games, including the rest of the American League East, happening right now. So we'll continue checking those as we go through the game tonight. Before we get you over to Ben and Chris, who are, as you heard, standing by for the call of today's ball game, let's get to the starting lineups. Batting leadoff for the Blue Jays is Bo Bichette. He is at shortstop. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. batting second at first base. Addison Barger gets moved up the lineup. He's at third base batting third. George Springer is DHing. He is batting cleanup. Alejandro Kirk back in there after a 4 for 5 night. He is catching, batting 5th. Batting 6th is Nathan Lucas in right field. Ernie Clements at second base, batting 7th. Batting 8th is Miles Straw. He is in center field. And batting 9th is Jonathan Clase. He is in left field. Jose Urena makes another start, his second of the season for your Toronto Blue Jays. Here's how Dan Wilson lines up the Mariners today. J.P. Crawford is batting leadoff. He is at shortstop. Julio Rodriguez is in center field. He is batting second. Cal Raleigh is DHing, batting third. Randy Arozarena is batting cleanup. He's in left field. Rowdy Tellez, who has 4 home runs this season against the Blue Jays, he is batting 5th at first base. Mitch Garver is catching. He is batting 6th. Leody Taveras is in right field, batting 7th. Batting 8th, Miles Mastrobuoni is at third base. And Dylan Moore is batting 9th. He is at second base. They will all be in support of Bryce Miller, who makes another start for the Mariners. All right, we are getting close to first pitch at T-Mobile Park. Don't forget, after this ball game, Nick Ashbourne and I will have Jays Talk. The quick rundown for Jays Talk tonight is, if this is a particularly long game, Nick and I will do a podcast-only edition. We'll take your text, 590-590, name and location. If it's a regular game, we will take your calls and your texts, certainly as well. We'll throw out the numbers after the final out, because after our game, and we'll be updating this on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, the Toronto Maple Leafs will take on the Florida Panthers in Sunrise, Florida. Joe Bone and Jim Ralph will have the call of that game. Puck drop at 7:30. So a lot going on across the network today, but of course, first, we have to get to first pitch of Jays Mariners, which goes in mere moments with the call tonight. Here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. The Blue Jays and Mariners are about to get set in Game 3 of this series. The Blue Jays 19-20, the Mariners 22-16, and it's the end of the West Coast swing today for Toronto before an off day and a return home to Toronto on Tuesday to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. Fans are waiting the Mariners to come out on the field here and get into their warm-ups as Seattle strides onto the field on this Mother's Day. We thank you so much for spending your Mother's Day with us. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, and my mom and everyone's mom contributing to this broadcast as well. The Mariners are out, and we are ready to go. As Joe mentioned, it's the right-hander Bryce Miller on the hill today for the Mariners. 26 years old, 6'2", 200 pounds. Miller is 2-3 this year with a 4.15 earned run average in 7 games started. It's certainly not a bad season so far for the 26-year-old in his 3rd year in the majors, but it is a steep drop-off from the production that he had last year, Chris.
Yeah, and he's really, really impressive. He's obviously pretty green in terms of big league experience, made his debut in 2023, but his last season was really impressive. 31 starts, a 2.94 ERA, 12-8. Like you said, not great this season, but still has great stuff. You watch videos of this guy, you watch highlights of this guy this season, he's still got the big fastball that sits in the mid-90s, and he throws that thing 58% of the time. He throws the sinker 18% of the time, and he throws the four-seamer 40% of the time. So if I'm the Blue Jays, I am ready to swing the bat. He does have a good split finger, and he does have a very, very good curveball, so you also have to be ready for that.
Miller is getting through his warm-up pitches right now. He'll face Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and Addison Barger in the top of the first inning. The Blue Jays don't have Dalton Varsho in the lineup today. He's getting a day off. And for a 3rd straight day, no Anthony Santander after he experienced some left shoulder soreness flipping into the crowd to try and make a play in Anaheim. Both are on the bench. We don't know if either are available. John Schneider does not meet with the media on Sunday, so we'll have to wait and see. But we do know that Bo Bichette in the Blue Jays all-gray uniform is walking up to the plate right now to get this game going. Mariners are in their cream-colored jerseys with brighter blue caps than usual. And Bo Bichette striding in. Looks out at Bryce Miller, who walks up the back of the hill. It's the first inning brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Armstrong Bird Food, the reason birds fly north. Feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Bryce Miller flapping his glove, standing on the first base side of the rubber. Into the wind, his pitch. Swing and a foul back on a fastball, 0-1.
And how about that? Bo Bichette swinging at the first pitch, 95 right down the middle.
Time of the first pitch, 4:12 Eastern, 1:12 local. Pink bat for Bo Bichette. The 0-1. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Chris mentioned the mix of four-seamer, sinker, splitter, curve, slider, sweeper, and occasional cutter for Bryce Miller. Guy who's overhauled his mix a lot in the big leagues. 1-1. Low, 2-1. His pitches aren't that different than they were last year, but his first year in the big leagues, he was a much different guy. He added a splitter in 2024, used his sinker a lot more. That's what helped him to a sub-3 ERA last year. 2-1. Swinging a bouncing ball, hit to short, high hop, picked up there by Crawford, who throws over to first. 1 out.
Well, the most impressive thing with that split finger, obviously, he's very comfortable throwing that fastball. Like I said, he throws a fastball 58% of the time, but he'll throw that split finger to right-handed hitters a lot, and it's really effective. Dives below the strike zone. I actually like what he could do out there.
Had a big year last year among Mariners starters. With at least 30 starts, he had the best earned run average, and in that rotation, that's even more impressive. Pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Fastball at 95, called a strike. Mark Rippiger is behind home plate today. Edwin Jimenez umpiring first. It's Nick Lentz at second, Vic Carapazza at third. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Good splitter. The bat flying out of the hands of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Maybe still getting used to that new piece of pink lumber is Vlad.
And there's that split finger right there. This time it was right down the middle, maybe outer third a little bit, but it looks exactly like a fastball and then kind of just drops off the table. A perfect pitch.
Hopefully Mark Rippiger is all right. That bat actually hit him in the head as it flew out of Vlad's hands on the backswing. You'd often see an Edwin Encarnacion lose his bat down the third baseline mid-swing, but Vlad lost it almost right at the finish, so his arm was pointing back towards the backstop. One out, bases empty, no score. Miller looking into Mitch Garver. A shrug of the shoulders in the 0-2. Splitter down and in, ball one.
Vlad's actually wearing two different color batting gloves right now. His left one is pink and his right one, pretty sure it looks like it's purple.
The 1-2. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's a really good mix. You could see Garver pointing out at Bryce Miller. He liked that pitch. They went split finger down and then fastball up.
2-2. Fouled off of the home plate umpire Rippiger and back into the backstop. Might have clipped Mitch Garver as well. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hitting .288 on the year, .802 on base plus slugging, 7 doubles, 4 home runs, 18 RBIs. He lost an 11-game hit streak yesterday, but did walk twice. The wind and the pitch. Down and away, ball 3. 6 pitches so far in this plate appearance. After Guerrero fell behind 0-2, he's seen 3 balls and fouled off 1 pitch. 3-2 offering. Swing and a bouncer over the mound. Rolls to the second baseman, Dylan Moore, who throws over to first to Rowdy Tellez. And there are 2 outs. So the base is empty and still no score in Major League Baseball's second hardest hitter of the baseball. Addison Barger comes up to the plate. No one in the American League with at least 25 balls in play has hit it harder than Addison Barger. The only guy in baseball who's done that is Shohei Ohtani.
He's been really impressive lately. He looks really confident in that batter's box, making good swing decisions up there, and then overall just swinging the bat really, really well.
2 down, base is empty, and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Barger came up with the eventual game-winning RBI single yesterday. He knocked in a pair on a 1-for-5 day. 0-1. Chopped slowly towards second base. Rowdy Tellez cuts off Dylan Moore, throws back to first to the covering pitcher Bryce Miller for the out. Bit of a cross up there on the right side of the infield, but Tellez took charge, wheeled around, got it back to Miller, and that'll be a 3-1 putout to end the top of the first inning. 3 groundouts for the Blue Jays, no score in the game. We'll see Jose Urena next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Make no payments for 12 months with the Timber Mart Deferred Payment Program. Apply for a Timber Mart project card today and pay later, 12 months later. Financing provided by Fairstone Financial Inc. Conditions apply. Ask in-store for details or apply at timbermart.ca. Locally owned, proudly Canadian. Timber Mart is Canada's building center.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
Breaking news comes 365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swinging a high fly ball, deep left field. At the wall, it's gone.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. No score, bottom of the first, and Jose Urena into the wind. Deals to J.P. Crawford. First pitch hit out to left center field. Racing back, Miles Straw near the warning track. Pulls up. It drops down on the track. And that'll be a double for J.P. Crawford. Miscommunication between Miles Straw and Jonathan Clausse on a ball that frankly should have been caught.
Well, Miles Straw had a beat on it, and the center fielder is the general out there. They make decisions. They call off either the left fielder or the right fielder. And that's Miles Straw's ball. He needs to call off Jonathan Clausse in the gap there, and he would have made that catch pretty easily if he did that.
So the first pitch for Urena of his second start with the Blue Jays is tough luck. A leadoff double for J.P. Crawford. Here's Julio Rodriguez. Right-hander's pitch. Popped up foul, 0-1. And his first start with the Blue Jays on the 6th of May at Los Angeles, the Angels. Urena went 4 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, went 74 pitches. His third pitch today. Popped up. Changeup lifted to the right side of the infield. Ernie Clement swimming in the air to call it. Makes the catch off to his right. 1 down.
That's a big pitch right there. Pretty good changeup, too. He actually leads, at least this season. He's leading with that changeup. Then he'll throw a sinker, a slider, and then he'll mix in that 4-seam fastball. But that last changeup was a very, very effective one.
Changeup in the high 80s for Urena, who's in the mid-90s with his sinking fastball. He'll also feature a slider and an occasional 4-seam fastball. And he's often trying to get you on the ground. 1 out, runner on second. Pitch to Cal Raleigh. Low ball 1. Urena, 33 years old, 6'2", 208 pounds, from Santo Domingo. This is his 11th year in the major leagues. A look at second from the righty and the 1-0. Bounced it. That was a changeup. 2 balls, no strikes. One hit in the series so far for Cal Raleigh. Usually the catcher. He's DHing today for the Mariners. It's a switch hitter batting from the left side. 2-0. Swing and a miss. 2-0 change. I know you like that, Chris.
Well, if you're going to throw a 2-0 change, it has to look like a strike out of the hand. That actually looked like a ball out of the hand. I'm surprised Cal Raleigh offered at it.
Decent leadoff second for Crawford. The 2-1 is another changeup outside. Check swing. And on appeal to third, no swing. So it's 3-1.
Well, you can tell that they're really trying to stay away from Cal Raleigh. Obviously, he has a ton of power, 12 home runs this season. Then you have that open base at first base. I would be surprised if he gets a fastball here.
Urena looking into the plate. His face partially blocked by his blue and red glove. He tucks the ball behind his back. Now he slips the ball into his glove. Set at the belt. 3-1. Changeup. Called a strike. No. Called ball 4. Mark Rippinger brought the hand up. And then, like he wanted no one to notice, scratched his face and let Cal Raleigh go down to first. I don't know if I've seen that before.
That was one of the weirder ball/strike calls I've seen. And I think you're right. He thought about calling a strike and then scratched his nose. Oh, yeah, that's a good fake out right there. Grabbed his mask, scratched his nose. Come on.
He looked to the right and stepped and then decided not to do it. It was a ball. He made the right call.
Yeah, he made the right call.
He just made it awkwardly. So 2 aboard here in the first, and a lot of this stems from that double that should have never dropped in off the bat of J.P. Crawford. Pitch to Randy Arozarena. Fastball called a strike. Looked a little low. It's 0-1.
And that's that good sinking fastball from Urena. 97 miles an hour. Looked like a strike and then just dove below the strike zone.
154th career Major League start for Urena, who's coming up on 1,000 career innings in the major leagues. 0-1. Another good sinker, another called strike. Both of them were a hair low. It's 0-2, and Randy Arozarena is not amused.
Is he ever, though? At least in the batter's box.
I think he's a very smiley, happy guy. He did get into it a little bit yesterday, though, with Vic Carapazza. 0-2. Change up in the dirt, ball 1. Big, bulky left fielder Randy Arozarena, batting .234 this year with an .806 OPS. 9 doubles, 5 homers, and 20 RBIs. A look at second from the righty Urena as 1-2 is popped up in between first base and home plate. Vlad Guerrero Jr. and right side of the mound makes the catch. 2 outs.
That's a great pitch from Urena. You could tell they were trying to pound Arozarena in, not letting him get those arms extended. A good fastball on the inside part of the plate and an easy pop-up to Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Infield fly rule was in effect. Vlad made the catch anyway. And now Urena an out away from working out of trouble. If you weren't with us right off the jump of this bottom of the first, a fly ball was hit deep to left center, but within range for Miles Straw or Jonathan Clase, and they both pulled up and it dropped in between. So it was a double for Crawford, who's on second. Cal Raleigh with a walk is on first. 2 outs, pitch to Rowdy Tellez. Is hit well, but hit foul off to the left, 0-1.
Another big fastball. This one 98 miles an hour on the black outside. That's almost the pitch. Well, not the velocity, but that's almost the pitch location that he hit out last night.
Left-handed hitter Tellez, thick beard, 0-1. Takes a changeup low. For Tellez, yesterday's homer was his 6th of the year, 4th against the Blue Jays, and 2nd off of Bowden Francis this season. One. Fastball inside at 97. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Such a good pitch. And like I mentioned last night, especially against Rowdy Tellez, he's a guy that loves to get those arms extended. So you have to come inside at some point during an at-bat. That was a good pitch there.
2-1. Swing and a miss. Went up and in with the fastball and then got him to whiff on the changeup down and away.
That's pitching 101 right there. I know guys that double up with that fastball in and then throw something soft away, but Urena decided to go up and in and then down and away.
It's 2-2. Check swing on a changeup low. Appeal to third. He didn't go. Full count. No score, bottom of the first inning. Both runners will be off on the pitch. It's Crawford on second, Raleigh on first. Full count, 2 outs. Urena's offering. Lifted to shallow center field. Straw racing in. Bichette going back. Calls for it and makes the catch to end the inning. The Blue Jays survive the early mix-up. No runs on a hit, no errors. 2 left for the Mariners. And no score in this game after an inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Stanley Cup playoffs are on Sirius XM.
They score! And Ovechkin got it! His first overtime game winner!
Hear every game, including the hometown broadcasts on the Sirius XM app.
Walker moving in, far side shot, stopped by Hellebuck, and Hellebuck made a dynamite save.
For a complete schedule, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
Back of the goal, centering back, they score! Austin Matthews!
And check out the daily discussion on NHL Network Radio, Channel 91 in the car, and on the Sirius XM app.
While you're listening to this game on Sirius XM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's -125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 159.
I'm John Paul Morosi, host of the SiriusXM original podcast, The Road to Cooperstown. Hear our conversations with Hall of Famers about the challenges they overcame on the journey to baseball immortality.
It is a hard game, and mentally it's hard.
I used to go to bed crying. They pretty much knew I was going to have lung surgery after the season. I wasn't for sure would I ever play baseball again.
The Road to Cooperstown is the official podcast of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. Episodes are available now on the SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
The second inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet on popular markets like hits, home runs, and total bases. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Bryce Miller shrugs the shoulders and winds. His pitch to George Springer is bounced to the mound. Picked up by Miller, who skips off the hill and underhand flips to Rowdy Tellez. 1 pitch, 1 out. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. No score between the Blue Jays and Mariners. Top of the second.
You said it off the top, so I'm going to say it right now. Happy Mother's Day to my mom, Marion. I don't know if she's listening. I hope she is. I love you, Mom, and thank you for everything you do for me and our family.
Happy Mother's Day to all the moms listening out there.
And all
really
the moms.
Appreciate it. Everything that you all do. 1 out, bases empty, top of the second. Here's the pitch to Alejandro Kirk. Called strike. What a day yesterday for Alejandro Kirk. Not exactly scorchers, but he came up with 4 hits in 5 at-bats. Now batting .282 on the year. The 0-1. Called strike. Sinker right at the bottom of the zone, 0-2.
That's a good pitch right there. You could tell that Bryce Miller has a really electric fastball, so much life through the strike zone.
Part of the reason the Mariners picked him in the 4th round in 2021 out of Texas A&M. Before he was an Aggie, he was at Blinn Junior College, another college in Texas. 0-2. Swing and a miss, he got him. 3 straight fastballs to Kirk. First strikeout of the day for Miller, 2 down.
Well, Bryce Miller missed his spot by probably about a foot and a half, but it ended up being in off the plate, tied up Alejandro Kirk. And that is a great pitch. Even though he missed his spot, that is almost perfect location.
2 very quick outs for Miller and only 4 pitches in this inning. And now right on left, he deals to Nathan Lucas. Inside, ball 1. Miller subtly can mess with the timing of hitters a little bit. In his windup when he steps back, sometimes he pauses for a while. Sometimes he goes quickly to the plate. Into the wind, the 1-0. Swing and a hard grounder past the dive of the third baseman Mastrobuoni and into left field, a base hit. Nathan Lucas, the first Blue Jays base runner of the day.
Mastrobuoni was playing way off the line down that third base line, and Nathan Lucas just took that fastball from Bryce Miller and hammered it on the ground. Such a good swing, such a good approach. It's a big base hit with 2 outs in this inning.
You had mentioned off the top, the bottom of the order, middle to bottom, has done a lot for the Blue Jays recently. Lucas has been a big part of that. So is this guy up at the plate, Ernie Clement. From the stretch, Miller looking in, and now he deals. First pitch popped up. Back of Rowdy Tellez, foul territory. Long run for the first baseman, and it lands just over his head, down on the side warning track. They were playing the right fielder Taveras well off the line. Same with Dylan Moore, the second baseman up the middle. So Rowdy was the only one who had a chance on that ball, but he had to go way back toward right field and couldn't make the play.
The interesting thing about Rowdy Tellez, though, over the course of his career, he's shown that he's very good at running almost straight back and making that over-the-shoulder catch. Almost that catch where you can't see the ball, you stick your glove out. And, I mean, I almost assumed he was going to make that catch.
0-1. Swing and a line drive. One hops into shallow right field for a base hit. Lucas hits the bag at second. He'll sprint into third. Ernie Clement had just enough to get it out of the infield. And it's back-to-back singles. Runners on the corners.
And how about that base hit? Absolutely blown up with that fastball in on the hands almost. And Dylan Moore was shaded towards second base, so there was a big hole on the right side of that infield. Just got past him in that hole. Nathan Lucas ends up at third base. First and third now with 2 outs in this inning.
The Blue Jays have had so many hits in this series through the exposed right side when they shift away from the right-handed hitters. Now Miles Straw is up. 2 down, first and third, the pitch. Swinging a ground ball, foul, third base side, 0-1.
First time I've seen a Mother's Day torpedo bat.
That's true. He might be the first one. I don't know. Pink bowling pin shaped bat for Miles Straw. Had a massive 2-run single in the 8th inning for the Blue Jays yesterday. 0-1. Hit deep down the right field line, and that one's going to slice into the seats foul. 0-2. After 2 quick outs on 4 pitches this inning, singles from Lucas and Clement has the Blue Jays threatening for the first time. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. No balls and 2 strikes the count on Miles Straw. Miller rocks and offers. And that one fouled right back. Fastball on the inner third.
That was almost like Bryce Miller saying, here it is, try to hit it. Tried to blow that 4-seamer right by him, and Miles Straw just got a piece of it to stay alive.
Miller leaning in, dangling that right arm beside his body. Now sets. Long hair coming out of the back of the hat. His 0-2. Splitter just low. Thought Garver might try to frame that a little more. It barely missed the zone, but it's called ball 1.
I think that was a much better pitch than what Garver made it look like. Very close to being a strike.
Lucas leading off third. Clement off first. 1-2. Outside with the curveball. It's a power curve at 85. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, a lot of room on the right side of the diamond. Infield shifted toward third base. The second baseman Miller's playing right up the middle, and Tellez is holding on Clement at first. 2-2. Line, center field, base hit. Coming in to score, Lucas. Clement up to second. It's an RBI single for Miles Straw, and the Blue Jays jump in front. 1-0 in the top of the second.
That was a great swing from Miles Straw. Fastball almost off the plate outside. He goes out and gets it and barrels that thing up just over the glove of Dylan Moore at second base. And again, 3 straight base hits with 2 outs in this inning. The Blue Jays are up 1-0.
From their 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the lineup. And that's 6, 7, and 8 on a day where there's no Varsho and no Santander. 2 aboard, 2 out. Jonathan Clase is up, the 9-hitter. Switch hitter batting left. The pitch. Outside, ball 1. Clase 1 for 11 to start his major league season. 3 strikeouts in 3 games. One-0. Hopped up, lost his elbow guard. It is headed toward third base, foul territory. Miles Mastrobuoni makes the catch, working back toward fair territory to end the inning. 3 2-out singles for the Blue Jays. Catches in their first run of the day. They leave 2 on, but they lead 1-0 thanks to Miles Straw at the middle of the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Are you ready for some football? On Wednesday, May 21st, gear up for football season with the George Springer replica football jersey giveaway presented by TD. Rush to the ballpark because this giveaway is available to the first 15,000 fans at Rogers Center. It's Wednesday night. Lights up. Let's go. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Saturday, May 17th at Rogers Center is Barbie Game Day. Like Barbie, you can be anything. Just be sure to be at Rogers Center on Saturday, May 17th for Barbie Game Day. Be one of the first 15,000 fans to get your Blue Jays Barbie Hawaiian shirt giveaway. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Strike three. Kevin Gausman strikes out the side.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Home half of the second inning at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, and the Blue Jays leading 1-0. Thanks for tuning in today. Happy Mother's Day. First pitch from Jose Urena is lined foul by Mitch Garver. 0-1. First time we see Mitch Garver in this series, sporting sunglasses and a pink bat. He bats from the right side and catches today. 0-1. Lined up the middle, off the hill. It bounces to Ernie Clement, the second baseman, who sidearms the ball over to first for the first out of the inning.
And how about that infield placement? Ernie Clement was right behind second base, taking away a base hit from Mitch Garver. An easy ground ball, easy play for him, thrown across the diamond. Had to deal with that second base bag, but other than that, an easy play.
1 out. Jose Urena into the wind. His pitch to Leody Taveras is hit foul. 0-1. Fourth game as a Seattle Mariner for Leody Taveras, wrapping up his first home series with the Mariners over from Texas. Claimed on waivers just a couple days ago. 0-1. Outside with the change. Taveras had admitted that it was a bit of a surprise. I mean, he'd been with one organization his whole professional life. 1-1. Inside 2-1. You go back to 2015. That's when his professional relationship with the Rangers began, when he was signed for just over $2.5 million as a 16-year-old. 2-1. Popped up. Middle of the infield. Bo Bichette is calling for it. Just about 5 feet from the second base bag. He'll make the catch. 2 down. When you think about it, they spent $2.6 million on him. They develop him. He debuts in 2020, but didn't really debut until recently, or didn't really break through, I should say, until recently. 2023 was his big breakout year. And then after struggles last year and the first month this year, they just let him go. A year and a month of struggles wiped away his whole chance. First pitch to Miles Mastrobuoni, called a strike. 0-1.
What do they always say? It's a business?
It is.
There you go. He's getting his first taste of it.
It's not friends business. Mastrobuoni hitting left. The pitch. Hit on the ground, foul. 0-2. Eric Lauer loosening up right now for the Blue Jays. Jose Urena on 26 pitches. It has been a while since Lauer, who's typically stretched out, has featured in a game. He might not be warming up to come in now. It might be a longer thing where he gets loose over the course of an inning or two and then perhaps splits this game with Jose Urena. 0-2. Lifted to left center field. Charging in Clase. Leaps it. Makes the catch in front of him to end the inning. 1-2-3 for Jose Urena, who's retired the last 5. 1-0 Blue Jays as we head to the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
A team's defense is as precious as gold.
Oh, what a catch! A great catch by Dalton Varsho.
Brilliant displays of athleticism, pure talent, instinct, and ability.
And it's caught.
An invaluable defensive presence. He is simply
the best outfielder in baseball.
On Wednesday, May 14th, celebrate this golden honor with the Dalton Varsho Gold Glove bobblehead. Available for the first 15,000 fans in attendance. Your golden chance for tickets awaits at BlueJays.com. Lights up, let's go.
Decking isn't just about wood. It's about creating the perfect outdoor retreat, and it all begins with the right materials. Essentials you always find at Trex, the leader in composite decking for over 30 years. Sustainable, durable, beautiful. Trex isn't just decking, it's a lifestyle. From homeowners to pros, everyone knows Trex delivers unmatched quality. Ready to transform your backyard into a dream space? Find Trex at Timber Mart, Canada's building center, where your outdoor vision comes to life.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365. 365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He's at the track, at the wall. He leaps, and he made the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the third inning and the top of the order for the Blue Jays. Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Addison Barger batting against Bryce Miller, with Toronto leading 1-0 in the series finale. Miller flapping his glove, winds, and delivers. First pitch down and away, ball one. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host, Nick Blackmore, our producer, Tom Young, our technical director. 1-0. Low 2-0. Bo Bichette going deep yesterday for his second home run of the season and his first opposite field home run since September of 2023. 2-0. Called strike, 2-1.
That's actually a good take right there. You're heading the count 2-0. You want a pitch that you can drive middle in. And that was a good fastball, almost on the outside part of the plate, almost on the black from Bryce Miller. Bo Bichette doing a good job not swinging at it.
The 2-1. He swings and misses at another good fastball, 2-2. Some context around the no opposite field homers since September of 23. He did only hit a handful last year, and he played in only 81 games, so that contributes to it. 2-2 pitch is popped up foul back behind the plate, out of play. But going the opposite way with authority at his position especially is one of the things that's made Bo Bichette so unique and valuable over the last couple of years. So I'm sure Bichette and the Blue Jays very happy to see that yesterday. 2-2. Called strike three. Pitch looked outside. Bichette with a word brushed his hand away from him like that was outside, but he'll walk back to the dugout, 1 out.
Yeah, not a terrible call, but not a great call either. That was definitely a ball, maybe half a ball off the plate outside. That's tough if you're Bo Bichette.
Second strikeout of the day for Bryce Miller, and the right-hander reloads against Vladimir Guerrero Jr. A nod from the mustached righty. Here's his pitch. Hit foul, 0-1. Vladdy's helmet turned diagonal on that big swing.
Ben, do you think we're too hard on umpires?
I don't know. Maybe. Some nights yes, some nights no.
All right. Just checking.
I mean, you said it wasn't a terrible call.
Wasn't a great call, though.
Yeah. The 0-1. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. I think the thing that we and everyone who sees a strike box, though, on a broadcast might need to remember sometimes is that is not actually 100% what the strike zone is. Strike zone is both 3D and not necessarily what a select television broadcast says it is. 1-1. Swing and a pop-up. Middle of the infield. Rowdy Tellez coming in. Called off by J.P. Crawford, who runs right in front of Tellez to make the catch. They're face-to-face arguing about it. And J.P. sticks the ball in Rowdy's chest as Rowdy flips it away. 2 down.
J.P. with a big smirk on his face. Rowdy Tellez with a big smirk on his face. They're having fun out there.
Why not? Pretty nice day for baseball in Seattle. 14 degrees, mix of sun and clouds.
It's been a beautiful weekend over there.
Think so? 2 down, top of the third, 1-0 Toronto. And the pitch to Addison Barger. Swing and a miss. It's third inning, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Elmwood and Owen Sound. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986, so protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center. Visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. 0-1 is up high. Check swing from Barger. Appeal to third, no swing. 1 ball, 1 strike. By the way, Eric Lauer continues to loosen up for the Blue Jays. Jose Urena, though, is sitting in the dugout like he's still pitching in this ballgame. 1-1 is low, 2-1.
I would imagine Jose Urena is staying in this ballgame for the foreseeable future. If he continues to throw the baseball like he's throwing it, why would Eric Lauer come into this ballgame? Like you said, I think he's just throwing to throw out there.
2-1 pitch. Swing and a rocket foul right side. Blazes past Mark Budzinski, 2-2.
A lot of the times when starters get moved to the bullpen, they need extra time to get loose. They need extra time to kind of have to get their routine in order. And I'm pretty sure that's what Eric Lauer is doing right now. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure.
Lauer has barely pitched since his one bulk appearance with the Blue Jays. 2-2 is low, 3-2. You look at the last 6 days, Lauer has thrown one pitch in a major league game. He threw one pitch to get one out on Tuesday. 2 down, bases empty. The 3-2 is hit on the ground right side. Moving to his left, the second baseman Moore picks it up and throws to first to end the inning. Blue Jays retired in order. They still lead 1-0 middle of the third inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Every year, the NBA Draft can change the fortunes of a franchise.
The San Antonio Spurs select Victor Wembanyama.
Monday night, we'll find out who gets the #1 pick in the 2025 NBA Draft.
And an outlet pass for Cooper Flag. Crossed him over and threw it down.
It's the 2025 Draft Lottery.
Mark it down. That guy is going to be a star in this league.
Join us Monday night for coverage from Chicago all evening until 7:30 Eastern on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the SiriusXM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
Baseball is back. It's former general manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former big league GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Blue Jays fans, after this game, get back to what's really important. Your fantasy football team. We're talking about it right now on Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and the SiriusXM app.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Bottom of the third inning, and the Blue Jays are leading the Seattle Mariners 1-0 as the right-hander Jose Urena steps back on the hill with the long hair coming out of the back of his cap. His pitch to Dylan Moore inside, ball one. Again, welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Get Air Miles reward miles on your next home improvement buys at Timber Mart. Plus, take advantage of buy now, pay later financing options with your Timber Mart project card. Start your project today. For details, visit Timber Mart, Canada's Building Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. And after a foul ball, Jose Urena has a 1-1 count against the 9-hitter Dylan Moore. Urena's 30th pitch. Just outside, through the slider that time. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Dylan Moore having a pretty good season. 286 homers, 11 RBIs. But he was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts in last night's ballgame.
2-1 pitch is leveled. Left center field. Going back strong. At the warning track. See you later. Solo shot, Dylan Moore on a sinker down the middle, and it's a 1-1 game.
Well, I don't know if I jinxed it or not, but that was a good swing on a pretty good pitch. A sinker at 96 right down the middle at the bottom of the strike zone. Dylan Moore just stays right on it, barrels it up, and ties this ball game up.
Home run number 7 on the season for Moore, who really golfed that one out of there. Big uppercut to send it out of the yard, and it looks like that is going to be the last pitch that Jose Urena throws in the game as he splits this one with Eric Lauer. He hands the baseball over to John Schneider, so it's a pitching change. Brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Urena out, Eric Lauer in. Let's go over to today's host. Here's Show Ali.
Thanks very much, Ben. Let's check out the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. And
As we will continue to do throughout the next couple of weeks to a month, we will start the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard with hockey and the Stanley Cup playoffs, the second round well underway. So first, last night, a pair of games. The Hurricanes blanking the Capitals 4-0 to take a 2-1 series lead. Game 4 will go on Monday. And a wild ending for the Golden Knights and Oilers. Riley Smith banking a puck off Leon Draisaitl's stick at the goal line with less than a second to go. Vegas wins 4-3 in regulation. It is still 2-1 Oilers in the series overall. Game 4 will also go on Monday evening. Tonight, 2 games on the calendar. First, we have Jets at Stars. This series is tied at 1 game apiece after Connor Hellebuyck shut out the Stars in a 4-0 Game 2 win. Well, no shutout for Hellebuyck tonight. Right now, Game 3 underway in Dallas. It's 1-0 Dallas with about 12 minutes to go in the first period. Rupe Hintz with the first goal of this game. Again, you can watch it on Sportsnet. As with all games, later on this evening, Leafs-Panthers will come our way. Toronto up 2-1 on Florida in this series after a 5-4 OT loss in Game 3. Puck drop tonight goes just after 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. You can watch it on Sportsnet. On the radio, you can listen to it on our flagship station, Sportsnet 590 The Fan, as well as 680 News. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call. And after the game, JD Bunkus, Sam McKee, and Justin Bourne will have Leafs talk on the radio on Sportsnet Plus and on Sportsnet's YouTube page. Blue Jays baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action with Eric Lauer on the mound in relief of Jose Urena. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much. So the left-hander Lauer making his third appearance as a Toronto Blue Jay. He's got a 4.15 ERA and 4 1/3 so far this season, and clearly a pre-planned move here as the Blue Jays bring Lauer in to face the top of the order. His pitch to J.P. Crawford is up and in, ball 1. Crawford spun back out of the way. Not really sure that was ever going to hit him, but it was upstairs at head level. Crawford with a double in the first inning. The wind and the offering is down and away, ball 2.
Well, Ben, I guess I was wrong. I thought that Jose Urena would stay in this ball game as long as he was pitching well. And like you said, probably pre-planned from this Blue Jays coaching staff.
Now the 2-0. Call to strike. To a certain extent, they did have to use Lauer at some point. He really hasn't pitched, and you either got to send him down or he's just going to lose his length. 2-1. Hit on the ground up the middle, backhanded Clement, bounces a throw back to first, and it skips up right to the chest level of Guerrero, who makes the pick. 1 out.
Ernie Clement is so smart. A lot of second basemen or infielders, really, they would try to throw that throw across the diamond on the fly, and Ernie Clement, like I said, such a smart guy. He bounced that thing just because he knew that was the quicker play. Big first out in this inning.
Helps out his pitcher, 29-year-old Eric Lauer from Ohio, 6'3", 209 pounds. His pitch. Swing and a foul tip, and the backswing caught Alejandro Kirk there. Julio Rodriguez got him, and Kirk looks a little shaken up. It's 0-1. Oh, got him right on the top of the head. That's why the ball skipped away from Kirk, who's taken off the mask. Eric Lauer just waiting on the hill. They're going to have the training staff come out here and check on Alejandro Kirk. Jose Ministral, head athletic trainer, and John Schneider out there. Kirk on one knee. Goalie mask off in conversation with Ministral. Ministral with hands on the face of Kirk, looking into his eyes, making sure that Kirk is all right. Kirk is now up on his feet. Mark Ripperger is in the mix as well, the home plate umpire. This obviously concerning, the time here being spent with the Blue Jay catcher after the backswing caught him on the top of the head.
I mean, this doesn't look great. Normally when a guy feels fine, feels great, he would almost immediately say, I feel fine, I feel okay. Doesn't look like Alejandro Kirk has said any of that.
Does seem to me, though, and we don't know what's happening on the, like this is a concussion testing that you might have to do regardless of what a guy says. Kirk did smile at Ministral at least, which is a good sign. John Schneider just standing on the side watching these two. It's Ministral pats Kirk on the right shoulder. Kirk is nodding at least. And he's going to slip the mask back on. So it looks like Alejandro Kirk is all right and ready to go. Very nice applause from fans of both sides at T-Mobile Park. And I think they're going to give Kirk here a pitch quickly just to make sure he's feeling okay. Kirk asks for one more from Eric Lauer. And a nod. And he has waved John Schneider and Jose Ministral off of the field. So Alejandro Kirk remaining in the ballgame after the backswing catches him in the head.
That squared him up.
Yeah.
Right in the top of the head. Obviously, he's wearing that goalie mask, but I mean, that is some scary stuff.
Rodriguez steps back in. 1 out, bases empty. 1-1 ball game. Bottom of the third. Lauer, the lefty, into the wind. His 0-1. Shot to the right side, foul. 0-2.
Eric Lauer missed his spot by quite a bit. They were trying to come up and in with that fastball. Ended up on the black on the outside part of the plate. Julio Rodriguez just hit it foul down that first base line.
Now Rodriguez will ask for time and step out of the box. Lauer's mix, a low 90s four-seamer, slider, changeup, curveball, and cutter. First rounder by the Padres in 2016. Pitched a couple of years for San Diego and parts of 4 seasons for the Milwaukee Brewers. 0-2. Changeup, low. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's actually a really good pitch just below the strike zone with that changeup. The fastball velocity is actually a tick up from his last outing. 93, 94 so far with that four-seamer.
1-2. Spiked another change. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He was a little more 91 in his bulk outing with the Blue Jays. And then I had mentioned earlier, he threw only 1 pitch in his second outing with Toronto on the 6th, getting 1 out to end an inning. 2-2. Curveball, bounce foul behind the plate. Through the legs of Kirk and into the brick part of the backstop. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And that big backswing again from Julio Rodriguez almost got Alejandro Kirk back there. You could see him staring up at Julio Rodriguez, almost saying, come on, man, enough with that big backswing. I think if I was catching back there, I would in fact say that to him.
2-2 once more. High, ball 3. Full count, 1 out, bases empty. Bottom of the third. The payoff pitch. Curveball cut on and missed. Strike 3. Rodriguez got a piece to tip it into the glove of Alejandro Kirk, and it's the first strikeout of the day for Eric Lauer.
Well, that was great pitch selection. Great location. Started off the plate. Ended at the bottom of that strike zone. And you could tell Julio Rodriguez was fooled by that 3-2 curveball from Eric Lauer.
Left-hander settles back on the top of the hill and now faces Cal Raleigh, switch hitter, batting right. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. 94 again on the heater from Eric Lauer.
That's some good velo. I haven't seen that from him at all this season.
It's a little bit more like he was in his prime years, 21 and 22. A 1 pitch is a changeup bounced. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2021, he had a 3.19 ERA in almost 120 innings, mostly a starter for Milwaukee. Came back the next year, had a 3.69 ERA in 29 starts. 1-1. Up and in, 2-1.
How nice would that be for the Blue Jays if he could be that guy?
Now, a lot has happened since then.
A lot has happened, I know.
He went to Korea for 7 starts. But he was solid in his bulk appearance on the 30th. 2-1 curve, low, ball 3. That was a game against the Boston Red Sox where the Blue Jays won 7-6 in extra innings on Alejandro Kirk's walk-off hit. Lauer came in after an opening inning from Yariel Rodriguez, went 4, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits. His 3-1 to Cal Raleigh. Curve low, ball 4. Second walk issued to Cal Raleigh today. He's aboard with 2 outs.
Tried to throw that same pitch that they threw 3-2 to Julio Rodriguez. Obviously, this one was a little bit lower, looked like a ball out of the hands, and Cal Raleigh took that pitch pretty easily.
Different situations for the two Cal Raleigh walks, but it feels like the Blue Jays would rather put him on first than let him be the reason that the Mariners win today. Randy Arozarena, 2 down. A look at first from Lauer, and from the stretch, the pitch. Fastball down and in, ball 1. Cal Raleigh can move from first base. 4 stolen bases this year. He hasn't been caught. Chopping it up on first base with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Now it takes about 2 steps, 1 extra as Lauer comes set. Step and throw over to first by Lauer, and a dive back in by Raleigh.
Cal Raleigh actually had a big lead over there. It looked like he was thinking about going, and like you said, he can move over there. 4 stolen bases. I'm sure that's why Eric Lauer decided to throw over.
Raleigh on pace to shatter his previous career high of 6 stolen bases last year. His 11th career, he's been caught once, but Dan Wilson, coming over to the Mariners, has tried to get them to be more aggressive on the base paths. We saw that hurt them on April 18th in Toronto. Addison Barger threw some guys out, but it's helped them too. 1-0. High, 2 balls, no strikes. One ball game. Dylan Moore led off this inning with a solo shot off Jose Urena. Since Eric Lauer came in, got a ground out, a strikeout, and then a 2-out walk. His pitch. Raleigh takes off. It's called a strike. Throw down to second. And he got him. Alejandro Kirk catches his fellow catcher stealing. And that is how the bottom of the 3rd comes to a close. The Mariners tie it up on the leadoff homer by Moore, but that's all they get. It's 1-1 as we go to the 4th inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
2 of the best in Major League Soccer clash this weekend on Sirius XM FC. The Whitecaps have taken the conference by storm, sitting atop the table.
Right down the middle, ball out wide. Scores again!
But they'll be tested when perennial power LAFC comes to town.
Giroud a hit, and off the top of the bar and in!
Vancouver LAFC tonight at 7 Eastern on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. From dramatic walk-offs.
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam!
To jaw-dropping web gems.
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
College softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on Sirius XM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on Sirius XM or streaming anytime on the Sirius XM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Network.
Top of the 4th, 1-1 ball game. Blue Jays and Mariners. George Springer, Alejandro Kirk, Nathan Lucas to hit this inning for Toronto against Bryce Miller. The pitch to Springer. Outside, ball 1.
It's good to see Alejandro Kirk standing on deck, that's for sure.
Got hit in the head by a backswing on the Julio Rodriguez at bat, but looked pretty good throwing out Cal Raleigh to end the inning. The 1-0. Swinging a pop-up. Right side of the infield. Rowdy Tellez calling for it. Shuffles to his right. Backpedals and makes a one-handed catch. 1 out.
George Springer was really disappointed. You could see him pop that ball up on a fastball that's really hittable right down the middle. Maybe at the lower part of that strike zone, but he dropped the shoulders, dropped the head. Really felt like he should have done damage with that pitch.
Instead, Springer back to the dugout and Alejandro Kirk up at the plate. 0 for 1 with a strikeout swinging. Here's the pitch from Bryce Miller. Bounce foul, 0-1. Fourth inning presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. The 0-1. Foul tip, 0-2. Long hesitation in the windup there for Bryce Miller. Kirk asks for time. 1 foot in the box, 1 foot on the outside chalk. Now he steps in fully. Taps the plate twice. Looks out at Bryce Miller, who's flapping the glove on the hill. The 2-strike pitch. Swing and a line shot down in the left field corner, bouncing up against the wall. Kirk on his horse, headed around first. He's going to sprint into second with the 1-out double.
I was just thinking to myself, Bryce Miller just threw a fastball at the top of the strike zone, and he blew it by Alejandro Kirk. He's probably going to throw one a little bit higher to try to sneak one by him, and I can almost guarantee that Alejandro Kirk was thinking the same thing. That's the only way that he gets to that fastball. It was 95 above the strike zone. What a swing from him.
Probably a ball, maybe 2 above the zone. Kirk lasered it for his 4th double of the year. Blue Jays fans making themselves known at T-Mobile Ballpark. Here's the pitch to Nathan Lucas with 1 out and a runner on second. High ball 1.
How about Alejandro Kirk? Just swinging that thing, huh? Holy cow.
He came into today batting .400 in 12 games career at T-Mobile Park. He likes this ballpark for some reason, which is usually a pitcher's park, not a hitter's park. Now Lucas reaches down and lines one into right field, a base hit. Kirk up to third base. He had to wait for it to get through, so he stops there. Lucas with a second hit, and it's runners on the corners, 1 out.
Speaking of swinging that thing, Nathan Lucas, a tough pitch down almost below the strike zone. He goes down and gets it, hits a good line drive through that hole on the right side. Unfortunately for Nathan Lucas, Alejandro Kirk is standing at second base, so he ends up at third base.
And in fairness to Kirk, that ball was hit close to Dylan Moore, so he did wait. Not sure he scores anyway, but he did wait to make sure it got through.
So watching the replay, I think there's only a few guys in the big leagues that would have scored on that. Yeah. So in fairness to Alejandro Kirk, I don't think anybody would have scored.
Yeah, not a few guys.
Yeah, a few guys.
If you do score on that, you're probably not making the smart base running play, and you're taking off right away rather than making sure that that liner doesn't get caught.
Right.
Nonetheless, it's first and third. 1 out, 1-1 score, top of the 4th inning, and Ernie Clement to bat. 1 for 1 today with a soft liner single to right. From the stretch, Miller's pitch. Hit high, left field, backing up Arozarena. Near the warning track, makes the catch. Kirk tags from third, jogs home, and the Blue Jays are in front 2-1 on a sac fly by Ernie Clement.
Ernie Clement knew that he had to get underneath that baseball, knew that he had to get some loft, and he did just that. But Randy Arozarena had a tough time out there shielding his eyes from the sun. That sun is directly in his face right now. I think the Mariners are lucky that he actually caught that baseball.
And because it looked a little adventurous out there, Nathan Lucas also tagged from first, advanced to second base. So the Blue Jays have a runner in scoring position again with 2 outs. Baton pass to Miles Straw, who had an RBI single in the second. The pitch. Called strike, 0-1. Straw picked up his 7th RBI on the season with that single in the second and boosted his batting average to .297 with the hit. 0-1. Called strike.
Well, Miles Straw didn't like the first call. He didn't like that call either. 0 for 2 right now.
His hit in the second was in a 2-strike count. 0-2 pitch. Lined right center field and caught on the run, tracking back by Dylan Moore, the second baseman. He gets to the humpback liner and ends the top of the fourth. The Blue Jays come up with one. Kirk double, Lucas single, and then a Clement sac fly brought in Alejandro Kirk to make it 2-1 Blue Jays, middle of the fourth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL 3-topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
Breaking news come at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Ground ball to second. Picked up Jimenez. Flips to Bichette for one. Over to first. Double play.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Bottom of the fourth, 2-1 Blue Jays. And the first pitch of the inning is hit on the ground and under the dive of Bo Bichette. A base hit for Randy Arozarena on a first pitch curve from Eric Lauer.
The Out-of-Town Scoreboard is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill, 100% Canadian owned and operated since 1992. Every Tuesday night, wings are just half price. Visit stlouiswings.com for details. You are welcome.
Get some of the hockey scores in a second after the base hit from Arozarena. He's on first, and Rowdy Tellez, the former Blue Jay, up to the plate. Left-on-left matchup for Eric Lauer. 2-1 Blue Jay lead. A look at first and the pitch. Hit away, foul to the left, 0-1. NHL playoffs on Sportsnet. Second round, game 3 between the Stars and the Jets is about to go to first intermission. And right now it's 2-1 for the home team. The Dallas Stars leading the Jets. 1-1 series. A 1 pitch from Lauer outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tellez. Thomas Harley came up with a goal inside the final 5 minutes of the first period to give the Stars that advantage right now. Lauer offers. Curveball low. And at 7:30, it'll be game 4 of an Eastern Conference second round series. It's the Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers from Sunrise. Leafs lead the series 2-1, but Panthers won game 3 in overtime. 2-1 pitch. No, it's going to be a step and throw over to first. I got faked out. Arozarena did not. He got back in standing up.
What are your thoughts on that Maple Leafs game?
We'll see what happens. I'm feeling good. You're just trying to go. How's the Canadian series going?
Good.
Oh, wait.
They're in Cancun right now.
2-1 pitch. Hit on the ground to first. Guerrero has it. Turns. Throws to second one. Throw back to first. 3-6-3. Double play.
And how about that? What a throw from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to second base. And he scrambles back to first for the double play.
Montreal native Vladimir Guerrero Jr. starting the double play. The Blue Jays erase the leadoff single from Arozarena. And Eric Lauer continuing to settle in. Now faces Mitch Garver with 2 outs and the bases empty. Lauer's 25th pitch. Low ball 1. Also some NBA playoff action going on. Jamal Murray's Denver Nuggets hosting Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's Oklahoma City Thunder. 1-0 to Garver. Curveball high and outside. Denver leading the series 2-1 over the 68-win Thunder. And Denver right now leading in game 4 just by 6 points in the third quarter. 2-0. High and outside, 3-0. Also later today, it'll be Game 4, Cleveland Cavaliers, Indiana Pacers. Andrew Nembhard's Indiana Pacers leading the series 2-1. 3-0 pitch. Called strike. Two-one Blue Jays, 2 outs and the base is empty. Bottom of the 4th. Left on right, the pitch to Garver. Popped up, foul territory. No, it's going to go fair to the middle of the infield, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. runs in front of the mound to make the catch and end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left for Eric Lauer and the Blue Jays. 2-1 Toronto as we head to the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Music legends honor their hero and friend.
Without Jimmy Buffett, there is no Kenny Chesney. Jimmy's dreams validated my journey and my dreams.
Made it less hypothetical.
The Coral Reefer Band's Mac McAnally and Kenny Chesney share stories and music. Hear it anytime and anywhere with the SiriusXM app. Just search Kenny Chesney.
From dramatic walk-offs.
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam.
To jaw-dropping web gems.
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
College softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on SiriusXM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on SiriusXM or streaming anytime on the SiriusXM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
Blue Jays fans, no matter where you are, you won't miss a pitch with the SiriusXM app. Hear every game all season long. Download the SiriusXM app and search Blue Jays
Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. 5th inning brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance. It's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. 2-1 Blue Jays lead. Blue Jays have already taken the series over the Mariners, winning the first 2. They're looking for a sweep today. And they'll lead off this top of the 5th with the 9-hitter, Jonathan Clase. Switch hitter bats left. Here's the pitch from Bryce Miller. Squares to bunt and bunts through it. Strike 1. Clase came up with a sacrifice bunt in the opener of this series in the 9th inning to help the Blue Jays score an insurance run. 0-1. Down and in, bounced near the front foot as Clase hunched over to get out of the way. 1 ball, 1 strike. And for Clase, his lone hit so far in the big leagues actually came on a bunt this year. That was probably a sacrifice attempt, but his speed beat it out. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a pop-up foul into the seats, left side. 1-2.
And he hasn't had many opportunities this year, but he does have 15 stolen bases at AAA this year, so you can see why the Blue Jays like him in this order.
Former Mariner dealt over at the deadline last year for Jimmy Garcia. 1-2. Called strike 3. Breaking ball just clipped the outside edge. You could tell that Clase didn't love it, but he doesn't say anything and walks back to the dugout. 1 out.
Well, that's a tough pitch because number 1, Bryce Miller, missed his spot. Number 2, it might have been off the plate outside. Maybe clipped that black on the outside. Nonetheless, it's a strikeout for Bryce Miller.
So 1 out and the top of the order up. Here's Bo Bichette. The pitch. Called strike. We'll say while the Mariners are trailing, Bryce Miller has been pretty solid so far today. And after walks had been a big issue for him so far this season, he has not walked a batter all game. On 60 pitches, here's his 0-1. Called strike. It's a bit of a break maybe there. Pitch looked a hair outside, although it could have gone either way. 0-2. Right-hander steps to the left, kicks and deals. Bouncing ball hit to shortstop, backhanded Crawford. Crow hop and throw to first, beats Bichette. 2 down. Let's go over to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Already did some hockey and basketball updates in Major League Baseball. The Red Sox already with a final today. They beat the Kansas City Royals 3-1 to take the series from the Royals on the road. You had the Rays losing. They could not finish off the sweep at home against Milwaukee. First pitch to Vlad is inside. He leans back out of the way, ball 1. 4-2 the final score in that game in favor of the visiting Brewers. And then 2 American League East games in progress. We'll get to those in a sec. 2 outs to the 1-0 to Vlad. Outside, ball 2. Rubber match for the Athletics and the Yankees. The Yankees are leading 6-1 right now after a 5-run second inning. It's 6-1 in the 5th. And a rubber match for the Orioles and Angels is 2-2 in the 5th. 2-0 pitch to Vlad, way up and in. As he matrix leaned back out of the way, he fell to the seat of his pants. It's 3-0.
And I hate to say this, but I think Tyler Heineman is getting his catcher's equipment on in that dugout. I think they're going to, or at least the Blue Jays are thinking about taking Alejandro Kirk out of this ball game.
A couple innings ago, hit by a backswing. It stayed in, caught a runner stealing, and doubled since. But they've continued to show looks of him on the Sportsnet TV broadcast. 3-0 is lashed down in left field. A base hit for Vlad. Cut off near the warning track by Arozarena. Absolutely tattooed for a 2-out single.
Randy Arozarena did a good job in left field getting to that baseball, cutting it off, and keeping Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at first base, especially with 2 outs. That's a big play.
First hit of the day for Vlad, and a third time up now for Addison Barger. 2-1 Blue Jays. Runner on first, 2 outs, top of the 5th. Barger bats from the left side. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. It's pretty awesome that Addison Barger has had this type of series in Seattle. A native of Bellevue, Washington, just across Lake Washington from Seattle, maybe 15-20 minutes away. He grew up a lot of the time in Florida, but has a ton of family connections still in Washington. 0-1. Low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Had mentioned after game 1 when talking to Hazel May on the Sportsnet TV broadcast that there was a bunch of cousins, aunts, uncles, some old friends in the crowd watching him play the Mariners. 1-1. High, good take. 2 balls, 1 strike.
So what you're saying is he's spending a lot of money on tickets.
Yes. So it's good he's maybe made himself some money with some RBIs and some doubles in the series. Slid all the way up to the 3-hole in the lineup because Dalton Varsho and Anthony Santander are out today. 2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Some dueling let's go Blue Jays, let's go Mariners chants at T-Mobile Park. Now they all give way to some noise with 2 strikes and 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Guerrero leading off first. 2-2 count. Miller offers. It's high, ball 3.
That's a good take right there. Tough fastball just above the strike zone, 93 miles an hour with that 4-seamer. But a good take from Addison Barger.
Miller leaning forward. Now comes set, glove at his stomach. From the stretch, the 3-2. Low ball 4, and Barger will take a walk. And that may be more than the fact that he's hitting the ball hard, because he's always been hitting the ball hard. That is what we're seeing from Addison Barger right now that we haven't seen before.
Well, that take right there was more impressive than the previous pitch. It was a curveball. And generally speaking, throughout the course of his career the last couple of years, Addison Barger gets really antsy in a 3-2 count, almost like he wants to swing. So that's impressive right there to take that pitch.
First and second now, 2 outs, and George Springer up. First pitch cut on and miss, strike 1. 0 for 2 days so far for George Springer, batting .287 now on the year with an .877 OPS. And you were talking about Tyler Heineman getting the equipment on earlier. Now he has a bat and is stepping out to be in the on-deck circle. So you can pretty much say at this point that Alejandro Kirk is going to be out of this game. 0-1. Check swing, splitter low. And Mark Rippinger doesn't even allow the appeal. Oh, now he does it, but it's no swing. It's 1-1.
And hopefully that's just a precaution at this point, and they're being careful with Alejandro Kirk.
The 1-1. Swing and a deep drive. Left field. Way back. George Springer has left the yard. A mammoth 3-run home run. And the Blue Jays blow it open. 5-1 Toronto. To a mix of rousing cheers and boos, Springer meets Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Addison Barger at home plate. And Toronto has a massive swing in this game.
Well, that was 112 miles an hour off George Springer's bat. It was a four-seam fastball, almost right down the middle. It seemed like George Springer was waiting for it, and he crushed that ball.
Wearing the jacket for the 5th time this year, Springer ties Santander for the team lead in home runs. Pitch to Tyler Heineman now. In for Alejandro Kirk, and he takes inside, ball 1. You're right, that's 93 center cut.
How about that? A couple, 3, 4, 5 slow steps.
1-0's a called strike, 1-1. Well, he's been the most popular Blue Jay on this road trip, so he may as well let the fans see him out there for a little bit longer. 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. (5-1) Toronto now. 2 outs in the bases empty. 1-2 count to Heineman, top of the 5th. Miller winds and deals. And it's bounced foul to the left. And of course, all the credit goes to Springer, but I can't help again but think about that walk from Addison Barger with 2 outs and how he allowed that inning to continue rather than try and do something himself. 1-2. In the dirt, check swing from Heineman. He takes it for ball 2.
Well, how about the Blue Jays scoring all 3 runs, and all 3 of those hits, 2 of those hits and that walk came with 2 outs. They've seemed to be doing that a lot more lately, which is really, really important.
4 of the 5 runs today with 2 outs. 2-2 pitch. Popped up. Back behind the plate. Raleigh ditches the mask, or pardon me, Garver on the end warning track, and that one drops in. Garver couldn't track it. He walked across the Seattle on-deck circle, and that fell in a couple feet to his left.
Well, he's staring straight up at the sun. As soon as Garver turns around, that sun is right above him. Maybe the wind was pushing that ball a little bit up that first baseline, but you could see him shielding his eyes from the sun. I mean, that's a tough play.
So an extra life for Tyler Heineman, who will have to deal with the same stuff when he slots in to catch in the bottom of the 5th. Another 2-2. Swing and a line shot foul right side. So Alejandro Kirk removed from this game, by the way. Tyler Heineman is in. Kirk hit on a backswing in the 3rd inning by Julio Rodriguez in the head. 2-2 once more, fouled off. That pitch almost hit Heineman on the thigh, and he somehow got the barrel to it to spoil it. You had mentioned earlier, you hope it's just precautionary for the Blue Jays, who put Andres Jimenez on the IL recently and have rested Santander 3 straight games. 2-2 is tagged, foul right side.
I mean, the Blue Jays are fortunate that they do have Tyler Heineman, who can catch a good ball game, throws really well, is obviously hitting well. But I'm more concerned about the health aspect of the potential concussion of getting hit in the head.
2-2 foul back, still 2-2.
But like you said, the Blue Jays can't afford to have another guy on the IL.
You're right. Obviously, the health of Kirk is the most important thing. And we'll wait for updates as they come through. Another 2-2. This one hit high. Right center field. Going back, Rodriguez just in front of the track makes the catch to end the inning. It was 2 outs, bases empty before the Blue Jays came up with 3 runs on 2 hits. George Springer's 3-run shot makes it 5-1 Toronto, middle of the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The drama builds.
Baseball's in full swing.
This ball's gone!
Hear every MLB game on Sirius XM.
And they'll be talking about this one for a long, long time.
Listen to your favorite team all season long with your hometown announcers on the Sirius XM app.
A breathtaking home run by Aaron Judge.
For a complete MLB schedule, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
What a night!
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game. And when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have it taken. Don't suck.
Step your game up.
That has never changed. In fact, the show has never changed. We're just back home. And it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there.
This is Dave LaGreca, creator of the biggest pro wrestling show on the planet, Busted Open. Don't miss myself and my Hall of Fame cast and crew as we break down every story in and out of the ring and talk to the top names in the business, like the legend himself, The Undertaker.
I'm actually glad to be on a real show.
Catch Busted Open live every day from 9 to noon Eastern on Sirius XM Fight Nation, channel 156, and on the Sirius XM app.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is Sirius XM College Sports Radio, channel 84.
And Radio Network.
Blue Jays baseball is presented by Crown Rust Protection. Bottom of the 5th. Thank you so much for tuning in today. 5-1, the Blue Jays lead the Seattle Mariners. Welcome to the Tim Rourke broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host. Nick Blackmore is our producer, and Tom Young is our technical director. Eric Lauer on the hill facing the switch hitter Leody Taveras. Taveras bats right. The pitch. Called strike. Taveras had shown bunt, pulled it back, and the heater hit the outside edge. 0-1. Third inning of work for Eric Lauer. He's allowed a single and a walk so far, but the defense has helped him erase both of those. 0-1. Curve for a strike, 0-2. It was a caught stealing that helps him in the third inning, and then a ground ball double play in the fourth. He will have to adjust a little bit now, though, as he works with Tyler Heineman behind the plate. Alejandro Kirk removed from the game in the top of the 5th. The 0-2. Change up away. Taveras started to swing, but held it back. Still at the plate, it's 1-2. Lefty Lauer into the 1-2 pitch. Fastball fouled right back.
Good fastball in on the hands of Leody Taveras. Not his hardest fastball of the day, but the location was almost perfect, almost in on the black.
He's lost a little bit of that zip on the heater that he had early on. More 91, 92 now instead of 93, 94. 1-2 again. Bounce to change up in front of home plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. .34 pitches so far for Eric Lauer, who's got a decent amount of length in that arm. Was starting for the Buffalo Bisons before he was called up at the end of April. 2-2 is popped up foul, out of play. Lauer threw 77 pitches in his Blue Jays debut on April 30th. They probably don't need 77 pitches from him today. 2-2. Curve called, strike 3, just clipped the outside edge. Tavares clearly upset with the call. He walks back slowly, 1 out.
Yeah, again, not a great call back there, but not a bad call either. Like you said, just clipping the outside corner, maybe on the corner of that black. A perfect pitch. And a pretty good curveball. Lots of break on that thing.
More of a traditional, slower, large moving curveball. First pitch to Mastrobuoni's a curve, called ball 1. See some of those tighter power curves these days that almost look more like sliders. Lauer's is an old-fashioned curve. Left on left, the 1-0. Called strike. Dan Wilson deciding to leave Mastrobuoni in to hit left on left against Lauer instead of going to the right-handed hitter, Ben Williamson. 1-1, cut on and missed, 1-2. Mariners do have 2 right-handed hitters and 2 switch hitters on their bench if they want to get a couple platoon advantage. Blue Jays left-hander steps onto the hill, shrugs his shoulders, steps back into the wind. 1-2. Fastball, caught him looking. Strike 3 on a 94-mile-per-hour heater, 2 down.
What a sequence. A couple of good breaking balls, and then just dots that fastball at 94 right on the outside corner.
Maybe he hasn't lost the zip on the heater. He was just saving it for a big moment.
That one was a good one. That might have been his best fastball of this outing so far.
2 outs, base is empty, bottom 5. 5-1 Blue Jays, and the pitch to Dylan Moore is a slider poured over for strike 1. Moore responsible for the 1 Mariners run in this 5-1 game. He hit a solo shot in the 3rd to end Jose Ureña's day. 0-1. Curve outside. Pink batting gloves and bat for Dylan Moore. 1-1. Chopped foul behind Moore's back, headed toward the third base dugout. 1-2.
There's that slow breaking ball again. He's really good at throwing that backdoor breaking ball. That one was 76 miles an hour to right-handed hitters.
One-two pitch. Line foul off to the right. Almost looked like a golf swing there for Moore as he reached down to hit it and didn't fully finish the swing, holding the bat in front of him. Another 1-2. High and outside with the heater. Taken for ball 2 by Moore, but Heineman liked it, nodding his head. Heineman now to his right knee, giving signals through the pitch column. Sets up inside. 2-2. Curve, cut on and miss, strike 3. Eric Lauer strikes out the side, and we go to the 6th with the Blue Jays leading 5-1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Of all the things that TimberMart can lend a hand to build, community ranks among the most important. And with the TimberMart Local Leaders Initiative, we strive to recognize those dedicated to making their hometowns a better place to live, work, and play. From now to June 25th, you can vote to select our grand prize winner. They'll receive a $10,000 grant to support their outstanding initiative as TimberMart's Local Leader of the Year. To vote, visit local-leaders.com. TimberMart, Canada's building center.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Lights up, let's go to Junior J Sundays. It's family fun throughout the ballpark with games and activities that your squad will never forget.
Feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
This Tuesday on City TV.
Only one act is going to walk out of here with $1 million.
Shania Twain returns for the Canada's Got Talent live finale.
I was expecting world-class talent, and that's what I got.
The final 8 acts battle it out for your vote. The show-stopping season finale.
I can't wait to see what happens.
Canada's Got Talent, the live finale, Tuesday 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on City TV. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
Hi, this is Bowden Francis, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on Sportsnet Radio Network.
Pocahontas in the cranberry glades.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Series finale against the Seattle Mariners. The Blue Jays leading the Mariners 5-1 as we go to the top of the 6th. 6th inning brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. First pitch of the inning sends Nathan Lucas down to a knee as he hits it foul to the right. A little slow to get up. It's 0-1. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host. Nick Blackmore, our producer. Tom Young, our technical director. Show and Nick Ashbourne will have Blue Jays talk coming up after the game. A 1. Up and in, 1-1. I should say it's a little timing dependent. Maple Leafs coming up as well. So if the game goes long and you don't hear Show and Nick doing Blue Jays talk, you can head over to wherever you get your podcasts, and there will be a podcast-only edition. 1-1 is outside, 2-1. So still, send your texts in, 590-590. Standard message and data rates may apply. Lucas 2 for 2 today, a pair of singles. 2-1 offering from Bryce Miller. High and outside, ball 3.
Bryce Miller just threw his 90th pitch of the ball game. Probably doesn't have much time left.
And it was really rolling along for him until he gave up the single to Vlad with 2 outs in the 5th. A walk and a homer later, and it's been a tough day. 3-1. Bounced it, ball 4. First walk of the day for Miller. Leads off the top of the 6th.
And there were a few pitches during that at-bat that really weren't close to the strike zone. That last pitch included. A pretty easy walk for Nathan Lucas.
It's got to be a little frustrating for Miller. Starting the year, too many walks. That was the issue. His last 2 starts, this one and against the Athletics, not many walks, but he's just getting hit now that he's been in the zone. His pitch to Ernie Clement. Swing and a flare off the end of the bat, drops in right center. Lucas around second base, and he's going to stop there as it was picked up quickly by the right fielder Leody Taveras. Ernie Clement's got a 2-hit day, and the Blue Jays have 2 aboard with nobody out.
Well, Alejandro Kirk has been really good at going the other way, and I tell you what, Ernie Clement is starting to go the other way as well. Didn't hit that ball well, but you can tell that's the goal. That's what he's trying to do. Take that pitch on the outside part of the plate and hit it the other way.
And that is going to end the day of Bryce Miller, who pitches into the 6th but doesn't get an out after a walk and a single. Dan Wilson takes the ball for a pitching change, brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Let's go over to today's host with the Blue Jays up 5-1 in the 6th. Here's Show Ali.
Thanks very much, Ben. Let's check out that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Some news from elsewhere in Major League Baseball. The Rockies making a managerial change. Manager Bud Black is out after 9 years on the job and a career record of 544 wins, 690 losses. The Rockies had gotten off to a 7-33 start. We're by far the worst team in baseball so far this season. Bench coach Mike Redmond had also been relieved of his duties. So current third base coach Warren Schaeffler has been named the interim manager for the rest of the season. That's according to the Rockies. And hitting coach Clint Hurdle has been named the interim bench coach as well. The second managerial change made in Major League Baseball so far this season. Let's continue checking in on the Stanley Cup playoffs as well. We do have 2 games on the calendar today. First, we have Jets at Stars. It's game 3 of this second round series. That series entered play tied at 1 game apiece after a Connor Hellebuck shutout in game 2. Right now, the Stars, though, leading 2-1. The Stars leading on the strength of a Thomas Harley goal, who, of course, was added to the Team Canada roster at the Four Nations tournament very late in that tournament. You can watch that, of course, on Sportsnet. About 13 minutes to go in the second period. Later on this evening, we have Leafs at Panthers. Toronto up 2-1 on Florida in this second-round series after a 5-4 OT loss in Game 3. Puck drop tonight goes just after 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. You can watch it on Sportsnet. You can listen to it on our flagship station, Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Joe Bone and Jim Ralph will have the call. Blue Jays baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action. Colin Snyder on the mound in relief. Here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. The right-hander Colin Snyder is on with the Blue Jays threatening. Nathan Lucas on second, Ernie Clement on first. 5-1 Toronto lead, top of the sixth. For Snyder, it's his 16th appearance of the year. In 16 and a third innings so far, he's got a .331 ERA. That's 6 earned runs allowed. He pitches to Miles Straw, who squares to bunt and puts it down toward first base. Barehanded by the catcher Garver, who throws over to the covering second baseman Dylan Moore at first. And that's a successful sacrifice. Lucas up to third, Clement up to second, 1 out.
Not the perfect sacrifice bunt. When a guy's on second base, you want to get that bunt over to the third base side, but it was hit so softly that Mitch Garver, back behind home plate, didn't have a play at third base. His only play was first base. Like you said, successful.
So second and third for the Blue Jays. Only 1 out, top of the sixth. Jonathan Clase hitting here with a chance to drive in some runs. First pitch, backdoor slider, strike 1. For Colin Snyder, it's actually a sweeper, they call it. Four-seamer and cutter. He also has a sinking fastball. Velocity's down about 2 miles an hour on each of his pitches. Infield in, 0-1. Inside with the cutter, 1 ball, 1 strike.
That actually almost hit Clase in the hip. That back hip, it had so much movement. It was inside by so much.
Switch hitter Clase batting from the left side. He's 0 for 2 today. 1-1. Swing and a line drive. Left center field. Base hit in the gap. Rolling up against the wall. Lucas scores. Heineman coming around to score. And the Blue Jays take a 7-1 lead.
Well, how big of a swing was that for Clase? It was a sweeper on the outside part of the plate, almost off the plate, and he just goes with it and hits a good line drive into the gap. A couple of big RBIs and a 7-1 ball game now for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Lucas and Clement cashing in on that one. 2-run double for Clase, his second hit of the Major League season and his first 2 RBIs of the year. One out, Clase on second, pitch to Bo Bichette. Called strike. What a massive knock there for Jonathan Clase, giving the Blue Jays a 6-run advantage. 0-1 to Bo. Hard liner, 1 hops to the shortstop. Crawford, who makes the play on the forehand side and throws to first. Clase aggressively moved up to third on the play. They're now 2 down.
Well, that was really close to being another run in this ball game. If it gets past J.P. Crawford, you can bet that Jonathan Clase is going to score, but J.P. Crawford with a great play, a nice snag on that 1 hopper.
(7-1) Toronto, 2 outs, top of the sixth. They've scored 6+ for a 4th straight game. Pitch to Vlad, and Guerrero lifts it just back of the infield into shallow left center. Arozarena coming in makes the catch to end the inning. Lucas and Clement set the table for the Blue Jays after a straw sack bunt. Jonathan Clase with a 2-run double, and the Blue Jays open up a 7-1 lead, middle of the sixth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Multicultural, international, undeniable. Your connection to the sounds from the East. Hear the voices of a global phenomenon on SiriusXM K-pop. How you like that? Or explore trending hits by Asian talents from around the world on Horizon. Listen to these and more anytime at home with SiriusXM on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
This is Mike Farron from Power Alley. When you work together as long as former general manager Jim Duquette and I have...
5 years.
13. Regardless, we know everything about each other, like my favorite city. New York. Chicago. My favorite food.
Hot dog with lots of ketchup.
Gross. My favorite musician.
Billy Joel.
Somehow even more gross. Jim, what do you actually know about me?
You love baseball, just like me.
Join us for baseball talk and apparently very little else on Power Alley, weekdays, 10 a.m. Eastern, MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Well said, Mitch.
It's Mike.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody!
This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
In the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 6th inning, and Eric Lauer's first pitch is outside to J.P. Crawford. Ball 1. Happy Mother's Day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Quite the gift the Blue Jays have delivered so far, leading 7-1. 1-0 to Crawford. Called strike, 1-1. 4th inning of work for Eric Lauer. He's approaching 50 pitches, and Yariel Rodriguez is just starting to soft toss in the Blue Jay pen. Perhaps getting ready for next inning. 1-1 pitches inside, 2-1.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about being up 7-1 later in the ball game. You don't have to use Brendan Little. You don't have to use Jimmy Garcia. You don't have to use Jeff Hoffman. It must feel good if you're a high leverage guy down in that bullpen right now.
2-1 pitch is hit on the ground right at Ernie Clement. Down on his right knee, picks it up, throws over to first. 1 out.
And you know what I would do if I was John Schneider? I would let Eric Lauer finish this inning and then potentially have Yariel Rodriguez finish the ball game.
Yariel not pitching yet, just doing some crow hop throws. I think probably the Blue Jays and Schneider would love to do that. And thanks to the 3-run homer from George Springer and the 2-run double from Jonathan Clase, there's a chance they can. Lauer offers to Julio Rodriguez, and the pitch is high, ball 1. The offense has been on the forefront today, but Eric Lauer has looked really good. 3 1/3, 1 walk, 1 single allowed, 4 strikeouts. 1-0. Fastball inside, brushes back Rodriguez. 2 balls, no strikes.
And we noticed it from the first few pitches that he threw. The stuff is just a little bit better, a little bit sharper. Fastball velo, maybe 2 miles an hour harder than we saw earlier on.
2-0 pitch is golfed out to shallow center. Sprinting in Straw. Dives, and he got it. Another Gold Glove play in this series from Miles Straw. Gets claps from his pitcher, Eric Lauer, as Straw takes a hit away. 2 down.
Such a big play for Miles Straw out there. You're up by 6 runs, so you don't have to dive. The game's not over if you don't make that play. Such a selfless catch out there, and a big catch, too, especially for Eric Lauer standing out on that mound.
It just fell into his red glove before touching the grass. 2 down. The pitch to Cal Raleigh's a backdoor curve. Strike 1. 7-1 Blue Jays. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. And the next pitch is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. On a quiet offensive day for the Mariners, Raleigh hasn't really got the chance to do anything. He's walked twice. The 1-1. Hit on the ground foul. He reached down for a changeup below the zone. 1-2. Lauer's 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Elevated heater. Raleigh chases 5 strikeouts in 4 scoreless innings for Eric Lauer. We go to the 7th. 7-1 Blue Jays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Center. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
A team's defense is as precious as gold.
Oh, what a catch! A great catch by Dalton Varsho.
Brilliant displays of athleticism, pure talent, instinct, and ability.
And it's caught.
An invaluable defensive presence. He is simply
the best outfielder in baseball.
On Wednesday, May 14th, celebrate this golden honor with the Dalton Varsho Gold Glove bobblehead. Available for the first 15,000 fans in attendance. Your golden chance for tickets awaits at BlueJays.com. Lights up, let's go.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center. Your home team advantage with the right materials and the right price. Project know-how that's brought together a wealth of plans and solid advice. Trust your team at your locally owned Timber Mart. Find your location at timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Barrios retires 7 in a row
on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
7th inning in Seattle. The Blue Jays up 7-1 on the Mariners. Addison Barger leads off for Toronto. Colin Snyder back out for a 2nd inning of work, and the righty's first pitch lands in. Strike 1. This 7th inning is brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. 0-1. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Barger with a walk and a run scored in the 5th inning. Took a tough 3-2 pitch to keep the inning going before Springer homered. 1-1. Inside, 2-1.
I bet that walk's going to get overlooked. Not by you and not by me, but I bet for most people that walk gets overlooked. That was a big part of that 3-run inning.
The 2-1. Outside, 3-1. Snyder brings his hands together, kicks and offers. Swing and a line drive, deep right field. Going back to Veras. It's out of here! The first of the year for Addison Barger. 8-1 Blue Jays on a rocket solo homer to right. What can't this guy do right now? He's having the series of a lifetime right near where he was born in Washington.
Well, he got an elevated cutter up near the top of the strike zone, and he's been seeing the baseball really well over the last 4 or 5 days. He puts a great swing on it and hammered that baseball on a line just over that fence in right field. You said it. What can't this kid do right now?
First pitch to George Springer, inside, ball 1. First time wearing the jacket this year for Addison Barger. Now the 1-0. Hit well, right center. Taveras racing back, and that ball is one-hopping into the wall. Springer around first. He'll jog into second with a stand-up double.
What can't this kid do right now? George Springer swinging the bat. He pulled that home run earlier in the ball game, and he goes the other way right there for a double in the gap. What a swing.
The Blue Jays seem to have found something here on the West Coast. They are hitting like they haven't all season. 8 runs today, and they continue to threaten with now a mix of some of the small ball that helped them early and some louder hits like the home runs today from Barger and Springer. After the Springer double, Heineman is up. First pitch cut on and missed. Strike one.
How about that flow of Addison Barger while he was rounding second base? The helmet flew off. And that beautiful hair just flowing in the Seattle wind.
Oh, 1 to Heineman. Foul tip, 0-2.
Was it? We had this conversation a couple of days ago. Was it Addison Barger that you said knocks his helmet off whenever he's running?
It's Vlad.
Oh, it was Vlad.
It's
Sorry.
Vlad.
I have a terrible memory.
Every time. Vlad every time, pretty much. Runner on second, nobody out. 8-1 Blue Jays, top of the 7th. 0-2. Down and in, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Blue Jays have 11 hits today for their 8 runs. 5 of them are extra base hits. Doubles from Springer, Kirk, and Clase. 2 home runs as well from Barger and Springer. 1-2 to Heineman. Hit to the right side, foul.
There's still nobody out in this inning. 2 big hits to start off this inning. Blue Jays are up 8-1 with nobody out here in the top of the 6th.
Right on left, 1-2. Poked out to left field. Arozarena coming in, makes the catch. 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Let's go to the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. 2 AL East games still going on. The Yankees are up 11-2 now on the Athletics in Sacramento. The Yankees already had a sizable lead when Ben Rice hit a grand slam, his 9th home run of the year. Yankees up 11-2, and the Orioles have opened it up in the rubber match against the Angels. 7-2 now in favor of Baltimore. First pitch to Nathan Lucas, called outside, looked pretty good. Ball 1. Gunnar Henderson just hit a 2-run homer to help extend that Baltimore lead in the 7th. One-0. Lucas hits a one-hopper through the middle of the infield, a base hit into center. Springer coming around third. He'll score. It's 9-1 on the 3rd Nathan Lucas hit today.
I knew eventually he would start to come through. A guy that hit 366 in 2023, 335 in 2024 at AAA. Eventually, he's going to start to hit at the big league level, and he gets his chance. He gets a pitch right down the middle and hammers that thing back up the middle. George Springer scoring the 9th run of the ball game for the Blue Jays.
3 singles and a walk today for Lucas. He's knocked in a run. He's scored twice, and he's on first as Ernie Clement takes strike 1. Clement, another guy having a really strong day. 2 for 2 with a sac fly and a run scored. The 0-1. Fouled back. 0-2. Well, this is now the highest scoring game of the Blue Jays season. 9 runs they've put up on the Seattle Mariners, a ball club known for their pitching in a pitcher's ballpark. 0-2. Called, strike 3. Can hear Ernie Clement did not like that call. He had a bit of a point as that appeared off the plate. It's a break there for Colin Snyder.
Yeah, that's not a strike. It's a good pitch, but it's not a strike. Maybe a quarter of a ball, half a ball outside off the plate, but you could see how frustrated Ernie Clement was. You could actually hear how frustrated Ernie Clement was after that at bat.
We appreciate Clement keeping it PG on our airwaves. 2 outs. Miles Straw is up. Runner on first. The pitch. Inside, ball 1. Straw's 1 for 2. Knocked in a run with a single in the 2nd inning. Popped out to second in the 4th and a sacrifice bunt in the 6th. 1-0. Inside, 2-0. 9 runs on 12 hits for the Blue Jays. 1 run on 3 hits for the Mariners. 2-0. Called strike. Lucas leading off first base, held on by Rowdy Tellez. The pitch home. Lifted to right field, backing up to Veras, near right center. He makes the catch and ends the inning. Leadoff homer for Madison Barger, then a double from Springer and an RBI single from Nathan Lucas. 2 runs on 3 hits in the inning for the Blue Jays. They leave 1 on and they lead 9-1 at the 7th inning stretch. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Lights up, let's go to Junior J Sundays. It's family fun throughout the ballpark with games and activities that your squad will never forget.
Feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Guess who just bundled their home and auto with Desjardins Insurance?
Well, look at you, all grown up and saving money.
Yes, I am.
Mom told you to do it, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Get insurance that's really big on care. Switch and you could save up to 35% on home insurance when you bundle home and auto. Desjardins Insurance, here for your home, auto, life, and business needs. Certain conditions apply.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
0-2 swing and a miss, strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Alley with you as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Blue Jays leading the Mariners 9-1 at T-Mobile Park in the series finale in Seattle. Before we get you back to Ben and Chris, let's take a quick check of the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Stanley Cup playoff action going on right now. Jets at Stars, Game 3 in Dallas underway right now. Last we checked, the Stars were up 2-1. Well, things are all knotted up at 2 thanks to a 4th playoff goal this year from Nino Niederreiter. There's about 2.5 minutes to go in the 2nd period. You can watch it, of course, on Sportsnet. Blue Jays Baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Again, the Blue Jays leading 9-1 over the Mariners in the series finale at T-Mobile Park. With the call, here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. I can't say any of us were really expecting this, but it's a welcome Mother's Day surprise for the Blue Jays, who still need 9 more outs, but are in a good position right now in Game 3 of this series after taking the first 2. A big part of that has been the bats. Another big part has been Eric Lauer, who's back out on the hill. Came in the 3rd inning and has faced the minimum through 4 innings of work so far. He'll get the middle of the order right now for the Mariners. Randy Arozarena leading off, and the pitch. Called strike. In a moment, we'll take a look at the Bet365 standings as some finals have rolled in already around the American League East. 0-1. In the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike. Lauer about to throw his 60th pitch of the day, exceeded 70 pitches in his Blue Jay debut. 1-1. Lifted left side, shallow left field coming in. Clase makes the call and makes a 2-handed catch. 1 out. Standings are brought to you by Bet365. With Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and you could even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Finals already, with the Rays losing and the Red Sox winning. The Yankees and Orioles are still in progress, but the Yankees lead the division 22-17, with the Red Sox a game and a half back, 22-20. Blue Jays are 3 back of New York, 19-20. The Rays 4.5 back at 18-22, and the Orioles 7.5 back, 14-24. The wind and the pitch to Donovan Solano, a pinch hitter, is hit back foul, 0-1. Dan Wilson had Rowdy Tellez go left on left in the 4th inning. Now he pulls him, getting the platoon advantage with the right-handed hitting Solano. 0-1 pitch, hit foul, 0-2.
Lauer's just filling up that strike zone. Obviously, he's a veteran guy. He knows that that's his job right now. Fill that strike zone up. Let the Seattle Mariners put the bat on the baseball. You don't want to be walking guys in this situation. He's pitching really well.
0-2 pitch is lifted to center field. Racing back toward right center, Miles Straw makes the catch underhanded in front of the track. 2 down.
And you mentioned Eric Lauer, how well he's pitching, but Jose Urena threw the ball really well too. He gave up that home run, but other than that, he looked really solid. The fastball was up to 98 miles an hour. He was filling up the strike zone. Both guys have done really well today.
Urena went 2+ innings. He pitched into the 3rd, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, no strikeouts. Lauer has 2 outs here in the 7th, and his day is coming to a close with nobody on, and the Blue Jays up 9-1. Yariel Rodriguez about to enter. This pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Let's go back to today's host. Here's Show Ali.
Thanks very much, Ben. Let's continue checking out that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Why don't we go back to basketball, where the playoffs are in full swing as well. Pretty fun so far in this second round. So first, some results from last night. The Celtics were taking on the Knicks in New York. The Knicks entered play up 2-0 as the series shifted back to Madison Square Garden. But Boston, they came up strong. They were up by as much as 31 points at one point. They would cruise to a 115-93 win. Jason Tatum with 22 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Peyton Pritchard had 23 points as well. Game 4 will go Monday night, tomorrow night at the Garden, with the Knicks still up 2-1. We also had the Timberwolves last night taking on the Warriors in California. Golden State still without Steph Curry. Minnesota taking a 2-1 series lead behind a 102-97 road win. Game 4 will also be on Monday as well. 2 games on today's calendar. First, right now, we have Thunder at Nuggets. Denver taking a 2-1 series lead after an OT win in Game 3. There are fewer than 2 seconds remaining. The Thunder are up 90-87. So if you want to catch the final 2 seconds of this game, you can watch it on Sportsnet 360. Later on tonight, the Pacers will host the Cavaliers in Game 3. Indiana has a 2-1 series lead there. Tip-off will go just after 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you, as always, by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you, Show. After a great outing from Eric Lauer, he's done with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Blue Jays leading 9-1, and Yariel Rodriguez will get a chance in this ball game. The Cuban right-hander about to make his 16th appearance of the year. 9 earned runs in 17 2/3 for an ERA just above 4.5. Last time we saw Rodriguez was in the Blue Jays' 8-5 win over the Angels on the 8th. He went 2 innings, allowed only 1 hit, and punched out 5 in that appearance.
That might have been his best outing of the season. Looked really good, really confident out there, and that fastball had a ton of life on it.
With 2 outs, Rodriguez faces right-handed hitting catcher Mitch Garver. The pitch. Fastball misses high, ball 1. 2 fastballs, splitter, slider for Yariel Rodriguez. 1-0. Fastball cut on and missed. Strike 1.
Throwing that thing right down the middle, trying to throw a strike. I like that. Fill up the strike zone.
Why not? With the Blue Jays up 9-1 in the 7th. Bases empty, 2 outs, so breath and the pitch. Slider outside, 2-1. Batter, ground out to second, pop up to first. 2-1. Swing and a miss at another slider. That one was going to hit the zone. It's 2-2. Garver asks for time, brushing around some dirt with his right foot in the righty box. He steps back in. One touch of the plate with his pink bat, wheels it around and brings it off of his chest up near his shoulder. 2-2. Slider down and away, ball 3.
That's a good pitch right there. Not a strike. You could see Tyler Heineman doing everything he could to frame that pitch, but still had very good break, very good depth to it.
Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Went right back to the slider. Gets Garver to chase to end the 7th inning. Lauer and Rodriguez combined to set down the Mariners in order, and we go to the 8th with the Blue Jays leading 9-1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
5 p.m. Eastern.
It's the NASCAR All-Star Race from North Wilkesboro Speedway on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 and on the SiriusXM app. For up-to-date betting lines, fantasy plays, and the latest NASCAR news, catch the pre-race show before every Cup Series race. Plus, 2 hours of post-race coverage on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
This is John Paul Morosi. On the SiriusXM original podcast, The Road to Cooperstown, I sit down with Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt.
I spent all my time trying to be the best that I could be in front of the Philly fans. So there you might say Philly fans helped drive me.
The Road to Cooperstown airs Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the SiriusXM app. New episodes drop every Tuesday wherever you get your podcasts.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Top of the 8th inning, 9-1. The Blue Jays lead the Mariners. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Pitching change for Seattle is brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. For the second time in the series, right-hander Troy Taylor is on. He pitched in the opener for Seattle and threw 1 inning, allowing 1 run in the 9th as the Blue Jays won that game 6-3. Larger advantage for Toronto today, up 8 runs, and Jonathan Clase leads off Taylor's pitch. High and outside, ball 1. A massive hit in this game by Jonathan Clase. Came up with a 2-run double in the 6th that turned a 5-1 game into a 7-1 game. 1-0. Swing and a miss.
And it really wasn't the result for me that I'm most impressed with. It was the swing itself. It was the decision up there to go the other way, really try to drive that ball into the gap in left field.
1-1 is a breaking ball that misses high, 2-1.
And that's really the most impressive thing for me. You don't really see that from young hitters all that much. You see it got that front shoulder go flying. Guys are trying to do too much. Beautiful swing from him.
2-1 pitch. Fouled off to the left, lost his elbow guard as he did on another swing today. He's just going to toss it away. It's 2-2. Defensive changes we'll get to for the Mariners coming up in a second. But Clase also, you talk about the decision-making, noticeably younger than a lot of the other guys the Blue Jays have called up. He's going to turn 23 in about 10 days. 2-2 pitch fouled back. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. "12 days to be exact. His birthday, May 23rd, 2002. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a hot shot grounder to second. Vacuumed up in the throw over to first in time for the out. Play over at second base was made by Leo Rivas. He's come in to play second base. Dylan Moore has moved from second to third. Now into left field is Miles Mastroboni, who was at third originally. Also, Donovan Solano is the first baseman now for the Mariners. So he came in to hit for Rowdy Tellez last inning. Pinch hitter for Toronto, a Blue Jay debut for Michael Stefanik, who watches the first pitch miss outside. Ball one. Former Angel Stefanik came up when Andres Jimenez went to the injured list. Has played 90 Major League games over parts of the last 3 seasons. 1-0. Called strike, 97 at the knees.
That's a good pitch right there, right at the bottom of the strike zone. Good take, though, from Stefanik.
One. Hits it back foul, 1-2. Stefanik, a contact hitter. 29-year-old's best major league year. He's only had stints of 40 games or fewer each year, but his best production came in 2023. He hit .290 in 25 games with the Angels. 1-2 pitch is lined and caught at third by Moore. And there are 2 down.
Well, he was positioned perfectly. He was way off the line. I thought that Stefanik had a base hit there, hit that ball right on the screws, but Dylan Moore was standing in that hole on the left side of the infield.
More than likely, Stefanik slots in at shortstop next inning, although he could play second. He and Clement both possess the ability to play both. Pitch now to Vlad Guerrero Jr. Called a strike.
Stefanik's having a really nice year, actually, at AAA. 319. Doesn't have a homer, but he has 13 RBIs. 4 stolen bases.
That's kind of his game. Get on, speed.
Yeah.
0-1. Up and in. Guerrero ducks back, lost his helmet. He's looking out at Taylor, and it looked like he just mouthed something like, you got to be careful. That was 96 right near his chin. Now Guerrero nodding is going to put the helmet back on.
I don't think there was any intent there. I think he just missed his spot. They were trying to come up. Obviously, any hitter doesn't want that ball, especially 96, 97 up around the chin.
One. Down and away at 98. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Troy Taylor just turned around and walked away. Didn't even entertain anything from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That's the way you do it.
2-1 pitch. Bounced over the hill. Rivas at second, fields forehand side, throws over to first. And ends the inning. 1-2-3 for Troy Taylor in the top of the 8th. 9-1 Blue Jays, middle of the 8th inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
A team's defense is as precious as gold.
Oh, what a catch! A great catch by Dalton Varsho.
Brilliant displays of athleticism, pure talent, instinct, and ability.
And it's caught.
An invaluable defensive presence. He is simply
the best outfielder in baseball.
On Wednesday, May 14th, celebrate this golden honor with the Dalton Varsho Gold Glove bobblehead. Available for the first 15,000 fans in attendance. Your golden chance for tickets awaits at BlueJays.com. Lights up, let's go.
This Tuesday on City TV.
Only one act is going to walk out of here with $1 million.
Shania Twain returns for the Canada's Got Talent live finale.
I was expecting world-class talent, and that's what I got.
The final 8 acts battle it out for your vote. The show-stopping season finale.
I can't wait to see what happens.
Canada's Got Talent, the live finale, Tuesday 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on City TV. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
Hi, this is Tyler Heineman, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host, Nick Blackmore, our producer, Tom Young, our technical director, and it's a 9-1 Blue Jays advantage, bottom of the 8th. Yariel Rodriguez back out for a second inning. His pitch to Leody Taveras is lifted behind third base. New shortstop Ernie Clement on the left field grass makes the catch. 1 out.
How about that? 1 pitch, 1 out in this inning for Yariel Rodriguez. He knows what he has to do. The Blue Jays are up by 8 runs in this ball game. Fill that strike zone up, throw a lot of strikes, and get back to Toronto.
They got a plane to catch. Get home, got an off day after the West Coast trip, and they'll host the Rays. By the way, it's Clement now at short and Stefanik at second after Stefanik came in to hit for Bo Bichette. Pitch to Miles Mastrobuoni. Called a strike. Blue Jays have used 2 guys on their bench, Stefanik and Heineman. They're giving Varsho a day off, and Santander was shaken up a couple days ago. So that's probably the extent of the subs as Rodriguez gets a little bit hosed on a splitter that looked like it got the zone called a ball. But in a 9-1 game, we won't fret too much about 1 pitch.
Well, speaking of filling up the strike zone, that was a great pitch.
Yeah, it's one of the best splitters we've seen from him all year. 1-1 to Mastrobuoni. Splitter hit on the ground to second. Stefanik has it, and his first defensive play for the Blue Jays is a throw over to first for the second out.
Well, I know it's a small sample, but Yariel Rodriguez looked good in his last outing, very good in his last outing, in fact, and he's looked very good so far this afternoon. So maybe he's found something. Maybe he's figured something out. Even that fastball velocity has just ticked up just a little bit.
He just looks pretty natural in a role like this. Coming out of the pen, can still provide length. His pitch down to Dylan Moore. Called strike. His mix seems to work a little better with the extra velocity. His command has been a bit better coming out of the stretch rather than the windup. 0-1. In the dirt. Dropped it to sidearm there with the slider and bounced it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think that one was way down.
Yeah, that was as low as it gets.
I was bordering on submarine there from Yariel Rodriguez.
2 out, space is empty. 9-1 Blue Jays, bottom 8. And the 1-1 pitch. Splitter cut on and missed. Strike 2.
He is feeling that thing this afternoon. That split finger is very, very effective right now.
Moore asks for time. Rodriguez tucks his blue glove into his left armpit, palms up the ball for a moment, and now stretches out his arms as he steps back onto the rubber. Moore back in the box, taps the plate twice, swings around the bat to his right shoulder. The 1-2. Called strike 3. Throws him on his slider to end a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the 9th. The Blue Jays up 9-1 on the Mariners. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
The UFC is on SiriusXM. Hear all the action live from the Octagon every weekend on SiriusXM Fight Nation Channel 156.
Baseball is back. It's former General Manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former Big League GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front Office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
From dramatic walk-offs
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam.
to
jaw-dropping web gems.
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
College softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on Sirius XM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on Sirius XM or streaming anytime on the Sirius XM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. 9-1 Blue Jays, and we have position player pitching right now in Seattle. Leo Rivas lobs in an 0-1 to Addison Barger, and he hits it in the air down the left field line, and that one's going to drop in past the dive of Dylan Moore. It's 0-2. Rivas was brought in defensively last inning. Now they bring Ben Williamson in to play third base, bumping Dylan Moore back to second base, and they'll put Rivas on the mound to save a pitcher. So it's actually Williamson on the dive down the left field line. Now the 0-2 is an Ephus hit out in the air to right field. Going back toward foul territory. Right fielder Taveras watches it go into the seats.
It's about 20 feet from home run number 2 for Addison Barger. Doesn't matter who you hit it off of, as long as it's in that box score.
Counts the same at arbitration. 0-2 again is lined through the right side, past a dive by Dylan Moore. A base hit for Barger.
So I'm in a softball league in the offseason, and it's one of those softball leagues where you have to lob it.
Short, slow pitch.
Slow pitch, that's what it's called. It's very difficult to hit pitches that are 12, 20 feet in the air. So what Addison Barger just did is very impressive, at least to me, who's in a softball league, that the ball has to come very slowly to home plate.
Well, we'll see what kind of softball player George Springer would be. He takes a pitch up high for ball 1. 1-0. Swing and a liner. Foul ball. Almost extra bases for Springer. He just missed the chalk down the left field line.
I need to get both of these guys on my team. 2 pretty good swings. First from Addison Barger and then from George Springer.
Leo Rivas, second-year player, delivers the 1-1, and it misses outside 2-1.
42 miles an hour.
A lot of downward action on that pitch. 2-1. Hit on the ground to shortstop. This could be 2. Crawford over to second 1. Throwback to first. 6-4-3 double play. How do you like that, Leo Rivas? Erasing the leadoff single there, 2 down. As good of a day as George Springer has had with the double and the 3-run homer, I'm sure he's going to hear about that for a while, hitting into a double play against a position player.
So I'm going to be honest. I didn't have a great big league career, and seeing a position player throw a 42-mile-an-hour Ephus and get a double play, that makes me so angry.
His pitch to Tyler Heineman is sliced foul, 0-1.
I could have just done that.
Maybe you should have mixed it in. 9-1 Blue Jays, 2 outs, top of the 9th inning. 0-1 to Heineman. Bounced it somehow after he threw it about 8 feet in the air to start. 1-1. That last one was 39 miles an hour. Next pitch is hit on a line out to right, base hit for Heineman. This 9th inning is brought to you by new pizza from Pizza Pizza. Get a huge 18-inch double XL 3-topping pizza for just $19.99. Bigger slices, bigger bites. Only at Pizza Pizza, actually Canadian. With Heineman's base hit, Nathan Lucas comes back up. He's 3 for 3 today with a walk, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. Takes the first pitch from Rivas outside, ball 1. Rivas tilted his head to the side. He wanted a strike call there for Mark Ripperger behind home plate. Right-hander set is 1-0. Misses outside again, 2-0. He's just pushing it a little bit, Chris. Not getting on top of that baseball.
It does have that good split action to it. A lot of depth.
Meanwhile, for the Blue Jays, Braden Fisher is warming up as the 2-0 misses way outside 3-0. It looks like we are going to see his debut coming up in the bottom of the 9th inning. 3-0 bounces, and Lucas will take a 4-pitch walk to keep the inning going. Fans not happy.
And I can't tell if Nathan Lucas is disappointed that he got the walk or he's disappointed that he didn't get to swing the bat, but doesn't look very happy taking that walk.
So first and second, 2 outs, 9-1 Blue Jays. Pitch to Ernie Clement. Swing and a line drive, base hit into left field. Station to station go the Blue Jays. Heineman stops at third, and the bases are loaded.
So Rivas has given up 3 hits in this inning, walked a guy, and still hasn't given up a run.
He made a big pitch when it mattered. Position player Leo Rivas trying to finish off this top of the ninth. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Miles Straw is up to the plate. The pitch. High, ball 1.
Miles Straw with a little bit of a smirk on his face.
1-0. Swing and a fly ball, left field. And that one's going to be brought in by Mastrobuoni to end the inning. So a scoreless frame for the position player Leo Rivas. Strands the bases loaded after 3 hits. And we go to the bottom of the ninth. Braden Fisher walking out of the bullpen, about to make his major league debut as the Blue Jays look for a sweep in Seattle. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart, locally owned, proudly Canadian. Your home team advantage with the right materials and the right price. Project know-how that's brought together a wealth of plans and solid advice. Trust your team at your locally owned Timber Mart. Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Centre. Visit timbermart.ca.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Go to pizzapizza.ca. This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
A drive to deep center field. Trout at the wall and watches it sail.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you. The Blue Jays lead the Mariners 9-1 as we head to the bottom of the ninth at T-Mobile Park. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk. Nick Ashbourne is here at Baseball Control with me. You can reach me via the text line today, 590-590, name and location. That's the People's Text line. It is always open. And I think, barring a long inning here, we will have a chance to take your calls as well. So get your calls ready. We'll throw out the numbers for you to call after this game is in the books. Blue Jays Baseball, as always, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. They lead the M's 9-1, bottom 9 in Seattle. Here's Ben and Chris.
Thank you, Show. Major League debut for Braden Fisher. The right-hander deals to J.P. Crawford, misses high and outside. Ball 1. Pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. 24-year-old Texan, 6'4", 180 pounds, deals a 1-0, and it's downstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. That was the curveball from Fisher. Low 80s and a pretty much straight 12-6er. His 2-0. Fastball at 97, called a strike, 2-1.
I tell you what, I've seen 3 pitches from Fisher, and I'm already impressed just by the stuff. That big 12-6 curveball, and then that fastball was 97 miles an hour.
Blue Jays selected Fisher on the 7th. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Tighter breaking ball that time. The 89-mile-per-hour slider, 2-2. Fisher, a 4th rounder by the Dodgers in 2018 out of high school. 2-2. Breaking ball, hit away foul to the left. Blue Jays picked up Braden Fisher midway through last season after they designated Kevin Biggio for assignment, traded him over to the Dodgers, got Fisher in return. 2-2. Breaking ball hits sharply through the whole right side of the infield, a base hit. Single for J.P. Crawford, his second hit of the day.
That's actually a good piece of hitting from J.P. Crawford. Not a bad curveball from Fisher. And he hit the target right down the middle, but J.P. Crawford going down and hammering that thing through the hole on the right side.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. telling Braden Fisher he's not going to hold on the runner. Blue Jays up 9-1, bottom 9. Nobody out, runner on first. Pitch to Julio Rodriguez, called to strike. Fisher started this season at AAA. In 9 appearances, he allowed 3 earned runs in 11 1/3 innings. That's a 2.38 ERA. Struck out 14. 0-1. Breaking ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Early injury delayed Fisher's career. He pitched in 2018 in rookie ball, but then injury and COVID meant that he was out from 2018 until 2021. 1-1. Hit on the ground is shortstop. Backhanded stop Clement. Spins, throws to Stefanik for 1. Over to first. Double play. Backhanded pick Ernie. Pick on the throw to second by Stefanik. And he delivered a strike to Guerrero on a highlight reel. 6-4-3 double play.
That was an incredible play from Ernie Clement. Wow. What a pick. Tell you what, if I'm Braden Fisher, I got to buy Ernie Clement a coffee or something. Holy cow.
Maybe for Stefanik, too. You don't usually have to dig at second to make the turn, and he caught a bouncing throw at second before optioning to first. Big claps from the righty Fisher. 2 outs now. He deals to rookie Ben Williamson. Called strike. Williamson came in defensively last inning. He's now hitting in the spot of Cal Raleigh with the Mariners down to their last out. 9-1 Blue Jays, bottom 9. Fisher's 0-1. Hit on the ground softly. Fisher picks it up, throws over to first. The Blue Jays win, and they sweep the Mariners in Seattle. 9-1 today is the score, but dominant all series was Toronto, who get back to 500 with the sweep.
What an end to this road trip. It started off a little bit bumpy. Obviously, we know that they lost the first couple of games of this road trip, but 4 straight wins, sweeping the Seattle Mariners, who were one of the best in the major leagues coming into this series. What a game. What a series. It's a big step in the right direction for this Toronto Blue Jays club.
Blue Jays win 9-1 the final. We're going to take a quick step aside, and when we come back, we'll wrap it up quickly and get you over to Blue Jays Talk with Show Ali and Nick Ashbourne. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face. Come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Lights up, let's go to Junior J Sundays. It's family fun throughout the ballpark with games and activities that your squad will never forget.
Feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Sprinting back, Varsho curling at the track. He leaps, and he made the catch!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays baseball. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. The Blue Jays defeat the Mariners 9-1 today to sweep the series over Seattle. Let's take a look quickly at the play of the game today. The Blue Jays had a lot of big hits, but it was a close game, 2-1 in the 5th, when, with 2 runners on, George Springer stepped up to the plate. The 1-1. Swing and a deep drive. Left field, way back. George Springer has left the yard. A mammoth 3-run home run, and the Blue Jays blow it open. 5-1 Toronto. To a mix of rousing cheers and boos. Springer meets Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Addison Barger at home plate. And Toronto has a massive swing in this game. Blue Jays would go on to get a homer from Barger, another double from Springer, score 9 runs in the game to pick up the win. 9 runs on 15 hits, no errors, 8 left for the Blue Jays, 1 run, 4 hits, no errors, 2 left for the Mariners. Eric Lauer, great today, 4 2/3 scoreless. He picks up his first win of the year. He's 1-0. Bryce Miller with the loss, allowing 7 in 5+ innings, goes to 2-4. No save, but we did get a 9th inning major league debut from the righty Braden Fisher, who faced the minimum in the 9th. The game took 2 hours and 32 minutes in front of nearly 37,000 with the win. The Blue Jays have won 4 in a row to go to 20-20. The Mariners sink to 22-17. Blue Jays are back in action on Tuesday, 7:07 at home against the Tampa Bay Rays with Jose Barrios on the hill. For our producer, Nick Blackmore, our technical director, Tom Young, our host, Show Ali, and my partner, Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Thanks so much for tuning in all West Coast road trip and today. Happy Mother's Day, and stick around to get your calls and texts in. Blue Jays Talk with Show Ali and Nick Ashbourne starts right now.
Well, Nick, it has been a season of grinded out results for the Blue Jays offense, no question. But for whatever reason, T-Mobile Park became a hitter's paradise for the Jays. They score 9 runs today, the most runs in a single game so far this year. 21 runs over 3 total games in Seattle. A 9-1 runaway win. Not many stressful innings today. The Blue Jays sweep the Mariners. And they do, in fact, somehow come home with a 4-2 record on the road trip after all, which I think when we were doing this last week, we felt that that was kind of the barometer for what constituted a successful road trip. They got it done in the end, a 4-game win streak. The Jays now back to 500. They are 20-20 on the season.
And realistically, if you're going to distribute those wins, you want to win against the good teams that you might be positioning in the playoffs. Losing to the Angels is not a big deal because you will not be competing with them later on. It is an odd result. There's no two ways about it, right? Like the Seattle Mariners went into this series as one of the better teams in baseball, one of the better hitting teams in baseball. The Blue Jays came out, they outscored them 21-7. And, you know, honestly, in the first 34 games of the Blue Jays season, they scored 6 or more runs only 6 times. They've now done it 4 days in a row. Like, this really looks like a different team than the one we were seeing as recently as the middle of last week.
Yeah, pretty impressive results for pretty much everyone involved. And I'm going to include Urania and Lauer in that as well, considering how this game went today. But again, you can text us here on Jays Talk and give us a call as well. Show Ali, Nick Ashbourne with you. We're live for Jays Talk on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet app. You can give us a call as well, 416-870-0590, 1-888-666-0590, star 590 on your cell. Again, 590-590. Name and location is the People's Text Line. It is always open. We're here until right before puck drop of Leafs-Panthers Game 4. I did want to get to this today as there is a day off tomorrow for the Blue Jays, Nick, but this game was the Jays' 40th game of the season. They are 20-20, as we said. And of course, 162 divided by 4 is just over 40 and a half. So whether you say it is today or Tuesday, the Jays are more or less at the quarter pole of the season. Now, I will give credit to Brian in Toronto, who texted us his report card, his letter grades of individual players during the pregame. So in honor of, I think, a pretty great idea by Brian, I was hoping I wanted to hear certainly from you, but all the listeners as well, letter grades. And I mean, you can interpret it however you want. It can be for the season at large at the quarter mark. It could be for individual guys, as Brian did. I'm sure you guys have letter grades for the manager, the front office, ownership. You guys can interpret it however you want. But again, give us a call, 416-870-0590, 1-888-666-0590, star 590 on your cell. Again, 590-590. Name and location is the text line. I am not soliciting letter grades on myself because I just know they will be lower than Blair's, and it's been a long week. We don't need that, okay? We don't need that on a Sunday afternoon. So, but I guess you can send those if you want, but I just won't read them.
You get to a certain point in your life where you're happy to have escaped being evaluated that way as a human being. And I think, both you and I are in that place.
Yeah, honestly, I'm at that point where I'll never go back to school ever for the rest of my life. I stand by that. I don't know what lies ahead for me, but that's never going to happen again. I've done a lot of schooling in my life. I don't know about you, but
absolutely fair enough.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about today's game, and again, a 9-1 win. It's hard not to talk about the offense first after not only just this game, but again, like you lined up all 4 games of this win streak. They kind of flashed this on the telecast just as the top of the 8th inning began, but at that point, in 4 games, the Jays have collected 46 hits. They had a batting average of 326, an OBP of 391, and scored 7.3 runs a game. Double-digit hits in 5 straight games. That is the first time, according to Chris Black, Blue Jays producer extraordinaire, they have done that since late August, early September of 2023. Like, that is so much, far and away, the best offensive stretch we saw this team put out all season, and they're putting up numbers we haven't seen in a couple of years. So well done by them to do it against, to your point from earlier, not a bad team, while also holding them down. Again, 7 runs scored by the Mariners in 3 games. I mean, the Blue Jays almost totaled that in essentially almost every game of this series.
And when you looked at the lineup today, there was a pretty good reason to believe that this would be the day where that kind of ground to a halt a little bit, right? Like Anthony Santander still not available. Like, that's a premier power threat for your team. Dalton Varsho not playing in this game. You know, Addison Barger, and as talented as he is, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it a little bit more,
for sure,
someone who had not really been that productive over the course of the season, getting moved up to the 3-hole. You know, you look at 6 through 9 in the lineup today, you know, talk about Lucas, Clement, Straw, Clase. That's a group where you think, oh man, the lineup's just not particularly long in this game. They're going to need it from the guys at the top of the batting order. Lo and behold, it's the exact opposite, right? Like, that group of 4 players went 8 for 15 today with 3 runs and 5 RBI. Like, that you really do not expect. Like, you expect maybe 4 hits. Like, those guys will give you a hit each, right, potentially. And instead, they were really driving this offense. It wasn't like Bo had an unbelievable day or Vladdy had an unbelievable day. You know, we know that Barger and Springer both came through with those big home runs, but those rallies, especially at the beginning of the game where they were stringing things together, it was these unheralded guys who were making it work. And you can't count on that in every single outing, but the fact that on this Sunday that they helped that streak going to give the Jays their highest run total of the entire season. Now, a quarter of the way through the season, you'd like to have hit double digits at some point. That's not the greatest thing that haven't had anything more than 8 to this point. But still, that group of players deserves a lot of credit.
They really do. They really do. I mean, we've talked a lot over the course of the whole season, certainly, and about the bottom of the order. And the bottom of the order has constituted a lot of different people. Some guys who are injured right now when it comes to Jimenez, for example. Some guys who are not even on the active roster right now, such as Alan Roden or Will Wagner. But I mean, Miles Straw and Nathan Lucas in particular, I think, like, when you talk about letter grades, I mean, there's one here from Tony and Bradford. It says Miles Straw gets an A+. And it's kind of hard to argue with the Miles Straw result. I mean, it's funny, too. We did get to see the first run scored by Clase after the successful sack bunt from Miles Straw. I admit to you, Nick, in the moment, I was like, why are they making Straw with this do the sack bunt, given how well he'd been swinging the bat? Obviously, like, process-wise, it worked out. But, I mean, you start this game, to underline your point, with 3 straight 2-out hits in the top of the second inning from their 6, 7, 8 hitters. And again, that is a group that, I mean, not counting Santander because he doesn't hit in that part of the order, but certainly without Jimenez, without the guys who are certainly in the minors right now. But I mean, Miles Kilometer Straw, as I understand people are starting to call him, coming through with the RBI single. He has been above what expectations have been since he got acquired essentially all season, but 2 games in a row he factors in the end result. The other day, a 2-run single that provides some insurance. The first ribby of the game today. Nathan Lucas, 3 hits for him. I guess technically 2 walks, although 1 walk did come against Leo Rivas in the top of the 9th inning.
Even he wasn't happy to take that walk. Like, yeah. I think he wanted to take some cuts there. But, you know, it pads the stats. He's looking to get paid. You know, makes sense.
Yeah, it all matters. It all matters the same once you go to arbitration, right? So 3 hits for Lucas. An RBI single included there, 2 walks, right? 2 runs scored on the ground. I mean, those 2 in particular, Straw and Lucas, in a world where they're not going to get a lot of playing time because of Dalton Varshaw's return, they've been very impressive.
Absolutely. And, Miles Straw made a fantastic catch in this game as well.
Right.
At a point in the ball game where, and Chris Lou pointed this out on the broadcast, like he really did not have to lay out and potentially sacrifice his body to make that catch, but he did it for his teammate, for his pitcher, Eric Lauer, who also, I'm sure we're going to discuss more, had a fantastic day. And that's what you're paying Miles Straw for. You're paying him to go out there, run down balls in center field, potentially in the corners, depending on who's available, make nice catches. And, to be fair, there's a bit of a hiccup in the first batted ball of the game where something fell in between him and Clase, and that was a bit of a communication error that, as a center fielder, Straw is the guy who's most responsible for. But we know what he can do in the field. We also know what he can do in the bases. Like, he's a legitimate base-stealing threat. You can bring him in as a pinch runner late in games. Is he going to hit as well as he's hitting right now? That would be pretty surprising. Like, he's been kind of a league average bat so far for the Blue Jays with some timely hits. It's hard to say that'll keep up, right? Like, he didn't play for most of last season. He was in AAA for the majority of the season. The last 2 seasons before that, he was a well below average hitter. But you got to love what you're getting from him right now because he's contributing every facet. He's hitting, he's playing the defense he can play. He's got a couple stolen bases and he can contribute on the base paths as well. Like, this is what you want from that extra outfielder. And, he does have a little bit of a bigger contract, and they did bring him in under these odd circumstances where they're trying to get Roki Sasaki, and it's hard to take that away from the player himself. But the player's on the team now. And right now, he is an important contributor in this complementary role.
Yeah, I think many people, including myself, felt he would ultimately be, emblematic, which is unfortunate for him to wear, but emblematic of the front office's failure to properly navigate the Roki Sasaki situation. And maybe that was true to a certain extent, but I mean, he has far outpaced my own expectations, and I'm sure, Nick, that is the case for a lot of people. 416-870-0590, 1-888-666-0590, star 590 on your cell. Those are the numbers to call. 590-590, name and location. Paul in Kelowna, BC. Nice to see Clement, Lucas, and Barger come through in the 6th inning. Dale in Nova Scotia. The bats are heating up, and not too late this year. Could make for an enjoyable season. Let's see. There's another one I wanted to get to. David in Dartmouth. This 3-game sweep is a big deal. It was a full team effort that provided a weekend of exciting baseball. We know it last happened in 1991. Many senior fans remember that year. A good sign, eh? Yeah, I think he means. I remember seeing it flashed on the TV and on social media that the last time the Blue Jays swept a 3-game series, because I think they've done it in a 4-game series, but a 3-game series in Seattle was before they won the World Series. So that's pretty nuts, honestly, all things considered.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm taking that as a sure sign about where this season is going, but it's a nice, interesting piece of trivia. And it puts them back at 500, and that's, kind of a symbolic number to be at to show that you're no longer a losing ball club, or however you want to conceptualize it. But the other way to think about it is that when you are 500, you're in the mix. And right now, they are 1 game out of a wild card. And yes, it is very early in the year to be talking about something like that. But you can bury yourself. And to be honest, in the middle of the week, the discussion was, are the Jays going to bury themselves? Because if they had won 1 game against the Angels, then they'd come and gotten swept by the Mariners, something that felt like a more likely outcome than what we just saw. They would really be thinking like, oh, wow, we are well below 500 here. We are close to falling out of contention. And, it is an 162-game season, and 3 games might not feel like that much, but that swing is pretty significant in terms of where the ball club sees itself. And there's going to be decisions to be made for the Blue Jays in the middle of this season. And if they fall out of contention before the trade deadline comes, there could be a really serious shakeup. Instead, you see right now they're very much keeping themselves in the mix.
As we continue talking about the offense as well, I mean, you mentioned it earlier, Nick, but this was a lineup that began the day without Dalton Varsho or Anthony Santander. So I was interested in seeing how the team, especially the top of the order, would acquit themselves without 2 of their power threats against a guy in Bryce Miller who did come into this game with an ERA above 4, but is still someone, I think, who has had pretty good results in terms of pure stuff, in his relatively young career. And then in the 5th inning, George Springer goes yard. A 93-mile-an-hour fastball, more or less right down the middle, like a center-cut fastball, not very poorly located, or was poorly located, not very hardly thrown. Springer did not miss. I mean, he launched that thing And he kind of like admired it out of the box. He kind of pimped it a little bit as he took a couple steps.
He was very confident that it was gone, and he was right to be confident. It was a 416-foot home run. He hasn't hit a ton of them this season, as good as his year has been, so absolutely his prerogative to enjoy that blast.
Yeah, an absolute missile for his fifth Springer dinger. And, I mean, you and I spoke about surprises in the pregame and how Springer has been a surprise. I mean, well, you needed more of that kind of surprise without Varsho and Santander in the lineup, and they really got it from Springer in that inning.
Absolutely. And one of the things the Blue Jays team has done relatively well, even at times last season, even in 2023 when it's had a punchless offense, is they've had guys who will get into good counts, put themselves in a position to succeed, and that's a great starting point. But when you get that mistake, you have to capitalize. And that's what Springer did. Like, as you mentioned, that was 100% a mistake pitch. And this team, they get those because everybody gets those. It's really hard to locate pitches that are 90+ mile an hour or, curveballs that are breaking, 50 inches on drop, things like that. Like, pitching is a difficult thing, and they will make mistakes. You have to be there to hit those mistakes. And when the Blue Jays haven't been going, they've seen some of these meatballs go by. They've been fouled off behind them. They've been fooled because they're sitting on a different pitch, and they'll get to 3-1, they'll get to 2-1, 2-0, or something like that. And when the moment comes for them, they have not met the moment. And that was just a classic example of George Springer meeting the moment.
We did see, in the Angels series, we did see him take advantage of a mistake. I think it was Tyler Anderson was on the mound. It might have been the first game of that 3-game series, but it was interesting because in that series, Nick, you saw early in the game, I think it was the top of the first inning, in that game, Santander watched a couple of fastballs kind of float through the zone, and then Tyler Anderson tried to get away with it again to Springer, and he didn't get away with it. And then today I sent the same thing. Now, again, a few games in between those games where you want to see a little bit more from Springer, but certainly. But I think you are seeing a better, I've used this word a lot, but a better process from Springer specifically this year because he seems less afraid. And Sportsnet.ca has a story up on this. I think it was Ben Nicholson-Smith who wrote this, but just about, his work with Popkins, the hitting coach, and mentality-wise where he was last year versus where he is this year, and just seeing Springer maybe not being afraid to get to 2 strikes and still taking some hacks and going after the pitches he should go after instead of trying to protect or being afraid to get down in the count. So it's nice to see that come around for Springer because it does feel like you're seeing, at least so far this season, there's a lot more baseball to be played, but it does feel like you're seeing a more consistent Springer, like a guy who is more consistent with the version of himself that was so successful in Houston for so long.
There's a significant difference in his approach this year. Like, he is, as you said, he's willing to get deeper into counts, and that's resulted in more walks and more strikeouts. Like, he's striking out significantly more than he did in past years. But the last couple of years, as he's gotten a little bit older, and sometimes the bat slows down, a lot of times guys will find a way to compensate, and they'll be like, you know what, I might not have the swing that I can rely on to hit the home run, so I'm going to be more conservative and hit for more average, and I'm not going to strike out as much. And we saw a bit of that with Springer. That's kind of the Miguel Cabrera decline phase type thing. We've seen that in a few cases. And this year, he's sort of taken the opposite approach. He wants to just cut these big swings loose, and he knows that sometimes it's going to result in a swing and miss, but it's going to give him a chance to, hit a ball over the wall, hit a ball into the alley. And his power is just significantly up from last year, whether it's how hard he's literally hitting the ball, some of those Statcast numbers, or just, he's slugging .517 right now. After this game. That is a really strong number for a middle-of-the-order power hitter, which is what he's been for a huge percentage of his career. But the last couple of years, he's been hovering more around 400. Like last year was at 371. That is not George Springer. And this year, he looks a lot more like George Springer. There will be moments where those strikeouts maybe pile up a little bit. There'll probably be some slumps somewhere along the way. But at least he is looking a little bit more like the guy that the Blue Jays signed for all this money a few years ago.
JJ in Toronto on the text line, 590-598, name and location. And still some time to give us a call before we make way for the Leafs. 416-870-0590, 1-888-660-590, star 590 on your cell. But on the text line, JJ saying, nice to be... He actually sent this in before the game finished. He said, nice to be sending in a confident win text in the 8th. Definitely needed one of these. Can breathe a little easier. Baseball is funny. Despite being 500, consistent is just something this team hasn't been. The hots and colds have got us here. Here's hoping we can piece together a little more of the hot from here. Keep it going, boys. JJ in Toronto. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Consistency has been something that has often eluded this team for long stretches, and they have found it here for 4 games. So here's hoping they can keep it going. Consistency has also been found for Addison Barger, Nick. I mean, in that same inning, we're talking about the Springer home run, right, in the 5th inning. Before that happened, Addison Barger with a walk in the 5th inning. I mean, he takes a 3-2 pitch to keep that inning going. And Barger, again, we talked about this in the pregame. He has been someone, and I mean, it's not like he has a particularly long major league career, but he has been someone who has gotten maybe a little antsy sometimes when he's ahead in the count or when he's at 2 strikes, either or. So for him to show the patience to get that walk and keep the inning going, because again, 2 outs at that point, and then the next time up, he just punishes a baseball for a solo shot in the 7th inning. I mean, it just feels very fitting that Barger gets a home run almost as the cherry on top after what he did all series long. Like, certainly there are questions about him, to use the word consistency again, long term, but I do think it is undeniable that the idea that the ceiling of what you can get production-wise from Barger is higher pretty much right now than anyone else you can stick at third base, like maybe outside of Vladdy if he ever goes to third, which doesn't happen all that often, right? So I love what I'm seeing from Barger, which is a continuation of what we've discussed over the past couple of games. But again, I wanted to make sure that that walk in the 5th got as much credit as the home run did, because that walk kept the inning going.
Absolutely. And you can also dial it back to the previous at bat too. Like, Vladdy absolutely hammers a single, 117 miles per hour on that single. Like, that is a number that the vast majority of human beings simply cannot touch. Really impressive hit. And then Barger, fantastic at bat there, as you point out. He does not get over anxious. He fights his way back after falling behind in the count to secure that walk. And then, of course, the huge home run from Springer. Barger in this game shows you sort of both of the things you want to see from him, right? Like, the first thing you want to see from him is an improved approach. Like, he, in his first taste of big league action in 2024, he struck out more than you'd like. He didn't necessarily walk as much. You knew that was a risk with him a little bit based on what you've seen in the minors, but it was exaggerated a bit. And it did seem like he was aggressive, maybe too much early in counts, a lot of 0-2, a lot of 1-2, put himself behind the 8 ball, not in a good position to succeed necessarily. And so the approach is part one. So he showed that, especially in that at bat. And then what you want to see from him is you want to see him hit the ball really hard, and you want to see him hit it over the fence, because that is what differentiates him offensively from other players. There are plenty of guys in this organization who can make contact with the ball. Arguably, there's an overabundance of those guys. So what the Blue Jays need is someone who can do some damage. Again, kind of as I mentioned before with Springer, when they get that opportunity, who is going to make the opposing pitcher pay? And Barger is absolutely one of those guys. So in this game, you see both sides of it. You see him potentially with that maturing approach, or at least one instance of it. And then you see what he can do when he really gets behind a baseball. And he didn't get too far from hitting a home run off the position player as well, which maybe wouldn't have been that impressive in a sense. But it's really special what his bat speed and what his strength creates in terms of the ball flying off his bat.
I know batting order is sometimes dependent, not sometimes, in a large part dependent on who the opposing pitcher is and days off for guys and injuries. There's a lot that goes into constructing the batting order, but what do you think? Would you keep Barger if you're still managing Santander and Varsho to a lesser extent, probably more Santander, given that he took that tumble into the seats a couple of nights ago. So 3rd straight game he did not play, but what do you think? Like, would you keep Barger up there if Varsho and or Varsho and or Santander are not going to be in the lineup for a little while longer?
Realistically, yeah, you've committed to the lineup construction. Not committed, but I think the lineup construction of Bo, Vladdy, Santander when everyone's healthy is generally where you want to be. Where things could get interesting if Barger continues to produce as he's done the last, kind of 2 weeks or so, would be in the middle of the lineup, but potentially behind George Springer. Like, that's a spot that Dalton Varsho's come into. And to be fair, since Varsho's returned from injury, he has displayed a fair amount of power himself. But traditionally speaking, Varsho has been approximately a league average hitter. And if Barger really gets going, he has potential to be more than that. And again, it's easy to say that on a day where he looks fantastic and during a stretch when he's been hitting the ball well. He has not come close to proving that at the big league level. Like, right now, Varsho is absolutely the more proven commodity, but there's a world where Varsho fits better kind of 7th in your lineup, and maybe if Barger really gets rolling, he could be that guy who hits 5th approximately behind Springer.
I wanted to get to one more guy with you before we go back to the text line here, because lots of texts I want to read. But Alejandro Kirk. And Kirk, another great day. He rips a double half a foot above the zone, it looked like. I mean, this coming after he stayed in the game after getting hit in the head on a Julio Rodriguez backswing. That same inning, he throws out Cal Raleigh trying to steal second. So Kirk looking good again after going 4 for 5 in the second game of this series. The double, this is courtesy of our friend Thomas Hall. The double was his 6th pulled hit with an exit velo of at least 105 miles an hour, 106.1 miles an hour. I mentioned it because he only had 8 of those kinds of hits all of last season. He's had 6 already, and it's the beginning of May. So very impressive to see more of the consistent results in terms of hitting a lot of balls on a line coming this year for the first time versus like a few seasons ago. So here's hoping it keeps up. Here's also hoping that he's okay. He came out of the game in the 5th inning after the backswing hit on the head. He stayed in for a while and then came out shortly. Heineman took over. Concussion issues, I'm sure it's like related. We'll have to see what Schneider says. They're no joke, and you never really know how people are going to respond, sometimes right away or in a couple minutes or even in a couple days. I mean, I don't know if you've been concussed ever. I have been twice, and my experience was very different both times, and I'm sure both of those experiences were different than like if it were to happen to you or someone else, right? So probably for the best, they were being cautious, I think, with Alejandro Kirk.
It's really hard to speculate because, as you mentioned, and I have had this experience too, like you can have a concussion that really affects you over the longer term. You have a concussion that leaves you relatively quickly.